Alrighty. So I think I am live. Okay, it does show that I am live. Let me do some behind the scenes type thing. Me, I'm get this show on the roll. So the thumbnail matches the actual title. I haven't done editing and content creating, especially in video form, for such a long time. I'm like, how does this thing go again? Okay, yeah, this is doing what it needs to do. Um, let me do this. Hopefully, people are having a great holiday, Thanksgiving, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, or just I got the time off, or I'm just doing me. So that is my treat to self. However you celebrate, happy celebration, even if it is just I don't gotta clock in. That's the celebration. That is all good too. I don't know if folks actually saw The Color Purple, whether it's the original that was released in the 80s, I believe, or if people saw the remake with Fantasia that acted her whole ass off, which was phenomenal to see. And we'll get into that soon as well. Okay. Let me see. And hopefully people are excited for 2024 and everything that it has to come, including revelations. What was it? Freak Meeks, Freak Off, Jump Off, Freak Outs, Freedom Freak. The revelations that come with folks who are living double lives and are predators behind the scenes. All of that it will be coming out in 2024. I think I did everything that I needed to do. Let me go and check. Yep. Okay. Hold on, one more minute, and then I think I shall be good. Cool. Yep. All right. I wanted the title to match the actual depiction. There's no point of the thumbnail not matching the title because that confuses people. Now we can get the show on the roll. Okay. Excuse me for that. Hold on. Again, I haven't done this in a while, so it feels not new, but it feels like um, relearning what you already learned. Hold on. Yeah. Interesting. Alrighty. I'm not even gonna try. Okay, now it's showing. So weird. Okay, 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 okay. Let's just get this show on the roll. Even though that was supposed to be edited. Hold on. Weird things. Because the thumbnail on my end says it's fixed, but then on the other end it is not. So it's like, which one is which? What is it giving? But YouTube be YouTube. So that's a conversation in and of itself. But point is, it says that the screen is matching up the title. Hopefully it's matching up the title. But let's just jump into it. So it's Christmas. Merry Christmas, Monday, December 25th, yada, yada, yada. I went to see the Color Purple movie. Kind of like spare of the moment type of thing. It's not something that I planned for. I didn't see the original. There are certain things that I will go over in detail within this review just to give you clarity. Again, I did not see the original. I had ample an amount of times in my 31 years to go see the goddamn original. I never did. There was so much drama, speculation, and other people's negative experiences or personal experiences with the movie and the politics around the time because the original film came out and I wasn't alive. Let me clarify. Let me pull up the original uh debut date. And it is a movie. It's a movie adaptation from Alice Walker's book, The Color Purple. Yeah, so the movie came out in 1985. Yes, before my time. So, like, yes, I could have watched the movie. I just never did because of all the hoopla around it. And I'm not gonna lie. Like, who I am today in my politics is not who I was back then. In my early 20s, I was not who I am now. And on top of that, like who I am now in my politics is not who I was 5 years ago. So like there's growth there. So I wasn't consuming this, right? Even though I knew of it, I knew of Alice Walker. So there's that. I can't compare and contrast to something I don't know. So there's that. Second, I did arrive at the theater late. I be late. Colored people time is my motherfucking. If that is my, if there's anything people can clock me for, it is that I'm gonna be late. I try not to be late, but like, hey, I be late, but then I'll be arriving on time. I be late, but yet and still things need to go as they're supposed to go because like me being late wasn't holding up nobody. Period. Okay. I like being late. And then when I arrive, that's when things actually start to kick off versus actually getting there on time. And it takes people another 20 to 40 minutes to get shit set up and actually prepared to functionalize, to socialize. I like arriving when things are actually jumping off. But that's just me. But I'm saying this to say is that I missed the first 15 minutes. So I can only go into details with the review of what I've actually seen. So for the first 15 minutes, I kind of missed that. But we are going to pick up where I was actually there to see and there to process and digest and review on. So, like I said, this is The Color Purple. I know the title's a little wow, but the title in and of itself is what I was consuming in the film and what I conceptualized. Especially the first 20 minutes, I was just like, for image sake, cinematography's sake, videography's sake, phenomenal. If we're just removing the politics, we're removing the historical context, we're removing all of that just for display of artistry sake. Yeah, it does it. Beautiful skin tones, beautiful cinematography, like the dancing, the acting, the singing, top fucking notch. Especially because this is a adaptation of an era, even when Alice Walker wrote the book and even when the original movie came out, it was depicting a time that they were not there to live and experience. This was antebellum South. This was Reconstruction era that the color purple is detailing. So putting all of that into context. And with the 2023 adaptation that came out today, everything was on par with the clothing, the slang, the style, all of that was to the T of the era. So when I came into the theater, no cap, I saw Mr. beating the fuck out of Fantasia. I was like, what? And like, I'm not accustomed to consuming content of violence towards women. Like, I have not listened to a rap album, a male rapper since 2018, and that's no cap. Like, I make it a mission not to listen to male rappers because I don't want to be inundated with violence, with misogyny, with chauvinism. Like, I don't like listening to music that makes me feel bad. I don't like listening to music that makes me feel insecure or beats on my self-esteem or tells me that I'm inferior or a walking cum rag because I have a vagina. So like, I don't make it a point. I don't make it a part of my consumption to listen and digest content that literally disrespects my whole entire fucking existence. I feel like that's the bare fucking minimum. Period. So I don't know who these little acronym niggas are. I don't know who they is. I don't know what they about. I have no idea. I'm auntie status, okay? Okay? I'm grown. I don't keep up with none of that shit. However, I say this to say is that when Mr. beat the fuck out of Fantasia, and I'm gonna call these people by their well-known name, not their character name, because again, the 2023 version is what I know, and keeping up with the names and whatnot, I'm pretty much gonna fumble it up. So if I call them by the name that you know them, like Fantasia is Fantasia, like we know this, you know who I'm talking about, versus me trying to remember her character's name. Like, stick with me. So when he was being Fantasia, when he, I guess, bought her, and was like, oh, fix the place for my cheerleaders. You know, you need to take care of the house, cooking, clean, take care of my kids. And you can see she's a kid herself. She's a whole ass kid herself. She looks like she's like 14. And the kids are 4 kids from Mr. are literal kids. They're like single digit kids. And the way that he's looking at her, treating her, not only is it pedophile like Nicki Minaj's husband, I'm always gonna sneak diss her husband. It's like, what the fuck? Like, we're not gonna get into it. It's like, y'all just don't want good for you. Like, how do you make it to that status, to that top tier, and then you find that type of man to marry? It's like y'all just don't want peace in your life. You just don't want peace in your life. But anyways, this is not about Nicki. So after he was basically like, I own you, I bought you, take care of my house, he beats her. And right after that scene, Haley comes into the film, and she comes in as the sister who basically comes to the door of Mr. and Fantasia, and was basically like, I had to leave the man that I was sold off to because he tried to rape me, and I just wasn't having it. Whereas we already seen in the film, Mr. had raped Fantasia's character, and he assaulted her to the song that Taraji P. Henson's character created. And throughout the film, we realize the intersections, the deep relationships, the love loss, the intricacies of every character and how they interconnect and sometimes oppose each other later on. So, of course, Fantasia's character welcomes Haley's character in, and it's just very much like, sister, we rekindle, like, we'll take care of you, blah, blah, blah. But then Fantasia's like, oh, well, we got to run this by Mr. because this is Mrs. House, and Mr. will put hands on you. So she's selling Mr. Haley's character like a dog, like a stray. Like, can we keep her, Mr.? Can we keep her? And Mr.'s like, well, you got to pull your weight around here. And she's like, I won't be no trouble, sir. I just go to school and study. A more better, Southern accent. And Mr.'s like, basically like, I'm not feeling this, but whatever. And then not too long after, Mr.'s trying to rape Haley's character. First he's like, shh, be sweet to me, honey. And again, they are so age polar opposite. They look like kids. Of course, you know, they're trying to portray kids. Obviously, Haley in real life is a grown ass adult, but like the stark opposing contrast to this man who clearly looks middle fucking age, trying to attack this whole ass young ass girl. Like when I wanted to jump out my screen and Mr. myself, I really wanted to. Really, I would take that charge, Your Honor. I fucking did that shit. I'm not gonna do the motherfucking time. Give me the motherfucking medal to the motherfucking city. Give me the key to the motherfucking city, bitch. I'm a motherfucking hero. I'm a fucking shiro, bitch. Give me a motherfucking day in the motherfucking city, bitch. It's a holiday. You know, I was just so stressed. I was so stressed watching that scene. I was like, oh my God, Haley, no. And like Haley fought back. And then Missa was basically like, if I can't rape you, you got to get the fuck up out of here. And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Me giving this review reminds me of like back when I was young, dumb, and very nice, so green. Like when I think back of my own young childhood, my teenage years, my early 20s, I'm like, honestly, to God, like there has to be a God, because my God, sis, my God, you could have died like 9 times, because you could have died. What were you thinking? Oh, ignorance is bliss, bitch. When you young like that, you really do be thinking you invincible. Oh my God. But there was one particular situation where me and my friend at the time, friend in quotation, we met up with my ex's best friend at the time, and one of his friends. And long story short, I wasn't putting out, and the friend of the friend, not my ex's friend, the friend of the friend, who lived in a Hey Arnold's like boarding house type of thing, but we're not even going to get into it. He was basically like pressing me for the whole night to put out. And at the time, I was a virgin at the time. I wasn't fucking anything. And he was just very like pushing me and coercion. This is before conversations about rape culture. This is before Me Too. This is before any conversation about these motherfucking men are toxic and we gotta fucking call that shit out. It was during the era of like girls on wild and men being creeps, men being predatory, men being sexual deviants. It's cute. It's a flirt. That means he likes you. That means that he's hitting on you. You know, pick me bullshit. So he was just trying to push into my drawers, and I was just like, I'm not having. Not only was he older than me, not only that I didn't want to, not only because I was inexperienced, it was just a lot of like reasons why I know it's a complete sentence. And he wasn't trying to hear that shit. And it was like 12 o'clock midnight, and he put me and my friend out of his little boarding house situation because we wasn't trying to fuck, literally. And like it reminded me of that scene, going back to The Color Purple, because it's not about me and my misadventures. Youthful misadventures. It reminded me of that because that man had a whole shotgun and was gonna shoot her dead in the pouring rain in the motherfucking bayous just because he couldn't fucking rape a 14-year-old like Nicki Minaj's husband. And I was just like, not only did I want to that his ass, but it just reminded me like why you cannot trust these men. God damn it. And this is why you have to have your own. I don't give a damn. You have to have your own. Because patriarchy will always make men feel that emboldened to your existence. And the way that he rationalized it was, this is my house. This is my property. I'm out in the fields. So therefore I get to rape you. That's the patriarchal logical conclusion. Because I work hard. The crackers are on my neck. I should be able to rape you. Beating down but never punching up. Beating down on women, on girls, but never punching up on the crackers. And we'll get into the crackers because they show as hell show their asses up in the film. So we see the son whose name is Harpo, and I don't know how true this is, but Harpo and Oprah got the same letters. They just mix match. So was that just coincidental? Or was that doings of Oprah and Spielberg? I don't know, but I'm going to put it out there. So we got Harpo who comes in, and Harpo's married to Danielle, who is the Orange is the New Black. She plays Whoopi Goldberg's character Celia. Her husband Harpo comes into the mix, and he's, even tempered. He's very kind of docile. He's very much of like a supporting character. Like, if y'all in my 90s babies, is very much giving me Angelica Pickle's mom would be more like Danielle's character, and then like Chucky Finster's dad is more like Harpo, right? A strong, dominant is like the character, and then Harpo's character is more like soft spoken, right? And Danielle busts through the scene like she's supposed to, and she let that mister know that I'm carrying your son's chilling, and I deserve my motherfucking respect. I came here to tell you that we's in love. I'm gonna have your grandchildren, and here I am. Welcome. And Mister was basically like, I don't give a fuck who you is. You ain't getting none of my money. And then she had to let him know that here's Ricky Stinky, because I love him, not because he had 2 cents to rub together. She didn't say that, but her energy was really on one. And she let that mister know that I'm going to put 5 cents on your motherfucking tab, bitch, because I got it like that. And she let that man know, like, hey, once you finish doing what you got to do with your pappy, don't have me waiting outside because I'm carrying for your baby. You got 5 minutes. Don't keep me waiting. And I was just like, exactly. Okay. And we see. Oh, we see the patriarchal indoctrination, because we see it with Mister, and we see it with Harpo. We see it with Mrs. Dead ass grandpappy, the same age as Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, beating down that toxic patriarchy into Mister, that ends up with him abusing Fantasia's character. Peak game, bitches, peak game. And we see it starting off with Mister was basically like, you need to get a rein on your bitch, basically. And Harper's like, that's not my bitch. I'm in love. I love that woman. Like, it is what it is. You can do on that, oh, fuck him and dismiss him, basically. And Harper was like, no, that's mine. I know that's mine. I'm going to take care of business. And you can see the father was basically like, that's not what I sent you to school for. Like, I basically invested in you, so you can be the very, very beginning origins of like Black Boule, Talented 10, Black excellence, getting good with the white folks, so they give you a position type of thing. And we see that within their aspirations. We see that within their entrepreneurial ambitions. We even see it later on through the film where Mister was going to sell his land to them crackers. It's very much of like, how do we get into the American dream? How do we buy into it? How do we get our slice of pie? And even though they are poor Black folk with land, you can see that in their minds, the characters' minds, it's not how we think about our political conditions, our material conditions. How do we fight for liberty? How do we get our needs recognized? No, it's very much about like, how do we rub our 2 pennies together so we can be the stars, so we can be the Ella Bakers of our time, or Lena Horne of our times, so we can make it onto the big stage, so we can get, the pearls and the furs, so we can be part of the American dream. Versus understanding, because there was a point in the film, later on in the film, where Mrs. Father was like, my ancestors toiled on this land, my ancestors, were enslaved. So there's this understanding of maybe not down to the street of where your ancestors came from, but understanding that we are not from here. This is not our country. We live here, we got land here, but this is not our origin. We're trying to survive this thing. But then you see the contracts of the politics who is like, I'm trying to get in. I'm trying to get this property. I'm trying to flip this into a business. I'm trying to get in where I fit in. So you see those polar opposite dynamics and dichotomies within the film and how it develops. But it doesn't get too deep into the politics of like, in this era, Black holes still exist. In this era, Jim Crow, like, they don't talk about the politics that shape the social dynamics. They only talk about intra-racial violence that they are experiencing or surviving through it. So let's get back into the notes. So we see Danielle's character make friends with Fantasia's character, and instantly Danielle's character connects to Fantasia and is just like not treating her like a little sister, but very much of like trying to get to know her, what you about. You seem real homely, you seem real meek, like tell me the tea. And she's like, a lot of people ain't fucking with me because I'm pregnant with Harpo's kid and it's out of wedlock, yada yada yada. But like I fucks with him, he fucks with me. And Fantasia was just very meek and mild and I would say ambitious, but like kind of admiring Danielle's character because she's big and bold, like literally that big, bold, and black. And she wears it like a badge of honor. And Danielle had to let her be known, like I had to earn my keeps because I am who I am, because I am black, because I am woman, because I am poor. I had all my life I had to fight. She was like, I am this person, I am this woman because of the shit that I experienced in this world. Being coded as such, being treated as such. No different, if we're going to look at it from a media point of view, no different than Meg the Stallion coming out and putting out that Cobra video and let it be known, like she was transformed by the experience of public humiliation. She was transformed by the experience of violence, lethal violence. She was shot at. She was radicalized and transformed by the men that she thought that were friends, people that she supported her, people she could trust, were the same motherfuckers wishing and praying on her downfall, literally creating false narratives, mythologies, just to knock this girl out of her spot, just to trick this girl out of her spot. And not just the men in the industry, the women in the industry as well. Cash doll. So taking it back to The Color Purple, we see the same connection because when Harpo was at the club, his dad's club, and was like, look, I'm having issues with Danielle's character. Danielle's character is putting hands on me. Like, I love her, but she mean as fuck, which is true. Again, Danielle said, I am who I am because of the shit I experienced. But because trauma is not processed in this settler colony USA and black folks ain't got the funds nor the access to proper therapy, what we tend to do is engage and perform that trauma internally. So we see the sexual predation throughout the film matches vis-a-vis with the sexual predation in 2023 in ways of black girls having a 60% sexual abuse rate by the age of 18. Black girls, 60,000 plus black girls being missing, and no one understands, no one knows where these black girls are going. Black girls ending up on the streets, being tricked, being prosecuted, being, trafficked, being 87, being killed. Like, these are same patterns of existence, patterns of behavior, stemming all the way back to the plantation, from the breeding farms, from the brothels, from the sexual torment, whether it's the quote-unquote father of gynecology, who is basically torturing and ripping apart black women's bodies and reproductive systems just to play with it, just to toy with it, just to a Rubik's Cube it. Because again, black people are not fucking people. We're not fucking humans. We're objects. Because that's what chattel slavery said. That's what the colonial project says. And that's what still to this day in this settler colony sees and treats black people. Down to the credit union that the Navy Federal Reserve, whatever the fuck it was called recently, who got outed for denying black homeowner applications through the bank, even when they made higher income than their white counterparts are asking for the loan. They had higher credit, they had more money, but they were still being declined. How the fuck does that happen? Oh, because we are coded and we are in a class of black, the permanent underclass, like slavery, like enslaved, like chattel slavery. So that class static, and that systematic oppression repeats itself over and over and over throughout the generations, because we're not liberated, even if we are not on plantations. The so-called father of gynecology, James Marin Sims, was but how does white America, how does gynecology, how does science, how does big pharma sees it? The father of modern gynecology. And how do black women see it? Maternal mortality, how do black women see it? Henrietta Lacks's genes making big pharma industry. Meanwhile, black folks ain't got no fucking healthcare. We ain't got no motherfucking universal healthcare. Meanwhile, black folks are dying of curable diseases, dying of horrible diseases, cancer. Can't even go see a doctor, can't even get an initial screening. But this industry would not even fucking exist without our literal fucking DNA. Class war isn't even the term for that type of dehumanization. Literal vulture, literal cannibalism. There is no depth to understand the removal of humanity in that. But back to the film. So Fantasia's character tells Harpo to beat on Danielle's character to show her, who's boss. And then he actually does. And then Danielle confronts Fantasia's character. Was like, why the fuck would you tell my husband to beat my ass? And Fantasia was like, I didn't say that. And then Danielle's like, bitch, don't lie to me. And then Fantasia's like, I'm sorry, I said that because I'm jealous of you. Like, you have everything that I've ever wanted to be. And Danielle was like, bitch, you know hard it took me to be this bitch? You know how many minutes I had to fight my daddy? I had to fight my brother. I had to fuck my uncle. I had to fight all my life. I had to fight fucking testicles. To have you out here aligning with the fucking odds, bitches, you crazy? And Fantasia had to look at that and internalize and self-reflect on that and see where her own internalized misogyny was. Even though she was not half as bad as Mr., she wasn't even close to any of the men in the film. But her lack of seeing the humanity in her own sister, suffering, that she thought, well, she takes lickings, which Fantasia's character very much was taking lickings, then that's just the normal thing to do. That's just the normal existence, the normal behavior, the normal interaction, the normal relationship between men and women. So if she's experiencing getting her ass beat to keep her in line, then in Fantasia's character's mind, it makes sense for her to give Harpo the same toxic masculinity program and indoctrination so he can fulfill that beating onto Danielle, just like Mr. beats her ass. Mr. is Harpo's daddy. So just like Mr. is beating Fantasia's character's ass, Fantasia has been indoctrinated, again, groomed, because she was picked up by this man when she was in her mid-teenage years, when in her early teen years. She was like 14, she looked 14. I don't know in the story how old she really was, but she looked young. So from that young ass age to her, we'll say at this time in the film, she's like in her 20s, all she knew was to take abuse. So in her mind, it's normal. So she's giving Harpo the abuse one-on-one handbook because that's what was given to her. And Harpo had to let her, and Danielle's character had to let her know, if my husband beat my ass, I'll fucking leave that nigga. I fought too many men outside of my house to be pregnant by the man that I love inside the house, and he beat my ass. I will fuck him up and leave him. And I can't say nothing but bravo. Leave him the first time. Leave him the first red flag. Hopefully without no kids in tow. But nonetheless, back to the film. Back to the critique. So Taraji comes back as the main star. She comes back as Suge. And she is so sweet like sugar. And she comes in the most like bourgeois fanfare, like jazz queen, cotton club-esque, okay? And the whole streets is giving us a show. There's one scene where they had this swing, kind of like zoot jazz-esque environment that was dancing out in the streets. and they literally had this one woman dancer. She was bent over, like she was twerking. And this man clean slide his body horizontal around her ass. Kind of like when niggas was out here doing pop locking and they was swinging around in the circle. Kind of like when Will Smith in the long intro to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and the bully took a Will and spin him around the shoulder. That's exactly what that man did on that woman's ass. And I was like, God damn. The quarter round. You can't tell that bitch, you spend good money on this production, huh? So again, outside of the politics, this shit hits. No politics involved. The celebration, the joyous, the music, the acting, the singing, the display of it all is like Wakanda Forever, bitch. Like how y'all ate Obama the first time and came back for seconds the second time. But with the politics, because material conditions run our lives, bitch. Okay? In ways of 3/5 of a human being. In ways of black codes, in ways of Jim Crow, in ways of the lack of generational wealth. Material conditions hold. So we gotta interject it into the movie. So when Taraji P. Henson's character comes along and she's Suge, you can see she got a drinking problem. As people are giving her this grand celebration, give me Carnival-esque tease, she's drinking her heart away. And I'm like, oh, you are alcoholic, huh? You on your last leg in Hollywood or the Chitlin Circus or the Cotton Club, huh? You running away from your demons, huh? So it was given like she ain't come here for a homecoming. She came here for shelter. She's running for cover. But there's pick me we'll get into, because though I like the aesthetics, she is very much one of them bitches in real life who will curly things bitches, pink pill bitches, how to get a man hypergamy, but them bitches, capital B bitches, them bitches. What do I mean by that? Taraji P. Henson's character can't see the evil in Mr. because Mr. used to be her boo thing. So to her, Mr. is still that sweet guy who played saxophone for her, who treated her well, who was easy on the eyes. She don't see that man beats on Fantasia. She don't see the struggles and the horrors that Fantasia goes through, even when Fantasia is scared. Later on in the film, Fantasia tells her the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth. But you can see it. You know when a girl is going through it with her man. Especially a man like Mr. Mr. does not conceal his violence. He don't even pretend to be a decent man. He don't even pretend to gaslight for people to believe that he a good guy. We know he a rat bastard. But she is one of them bitches who will be like, he never did that to me. He never treated me like that. Them bitches. It's never you until it is you. Them bitches. Them pick me bitches. And though I love me Taraji, and I love me some Suge, but she was a pick-me-ass bitch that deserved to get her ass whooped. Sorry, not sorry. Back to the film. Back to the review. What really crushed for me was seeing Fantasia was made to serve Suge. The woman, her rapist, Mr. Sweet on for Suge. Suge is very much the one that got away. Fantasia's character is made to be her house girl, be her personal servant. It was very much giving me Restavek type of energy. If you're Haitian or from the Haitian culture, you know what a Restavek is. And a Restavek is basically a child slave. Oftentimes a girl child slave. And oftentimes those child slaves are treated just like Fantasia's character, down to the sexual abuse. Down to like they have no rights. Down to they have no money, no property, hell. Because of Western imperialism, because of y'all settler colony USA, because of France, because of all you crack devils, Haiti's a failed state. So where there used to be a few Restaveks, hell, there's too many to count Restaveks. And y'all sex tourism is on the rise, especially We pass. Patriarchy never sees an oppressed person and did not think of a come up, did not think of exploitation, did not think of a lick. Patriarchy never sees anybody down bad and actually displays and performs empathy. No, no, not at all. So it kind of crushed me seeing Fantasia like adorn and worship and be made to upkeep Taraji P. Henson's character. Even though Taraji P. Henson's character did see, Fantasia character did love her, they very much had a sapphic type of relationship, and I was here for it. Like, bring back more sapphic fucking films. Bring back more sapphic relationship between women. They don't have to, bump pussies, but like bring back that tenderness, bring back that care, bring back that. I love seeing that shit. Make that shit a staple. I'm tired of the bitches fighting each other, and I'm tired of the bitches choosing trash ass dick. Give me something that I could feel. Give me something sapphic. So, like, how it ultimately developed over time, I agreed with. But like, I did not like Fantasia's position because it very much felt like twerk. It very much felt like the like reject. It very much gave me tease of Carrie, the movie Carrie. It like, you're the reject, you're the scrub, you're the never was, the ugly duckling, and you're idolizing the main girl, the main star, the it girl. And though she doesn't treat you like shit, she does see you as her pet. And I did not like that for Fantasia. I did not like that for Fantasia. You deserve more than just a fucking pet. And that's where I was coming from it with that one. Yeah, Fantasia admired the woman she's pinned against and made to envy. Taraji sees Mr. as her, her boo. You know how you hoes be saying, "Oh, that's not my man, but that's my man." That was Taraji P. Henson's character with Mr. around the time of that film. He's not my man, but if I want him, I can get him back. That type of energy. And I was just like, not only are you a trash ass, pick me ass bitch, but Fantasia doesn't deserve this. And honestly, we all should just kill Mr. and bury him in the motherfucking sharecropping field. Like, literally, let's all kill him and just bury him. Like, I don't know why we arguing. I don't know why we fighting. Like, we should just 1, 2, 3, kill Mr. Like, what? But that's just me though. That's just me. Yeah, Fantasia sees Mr. as her boo and not a rapist, sexist, misogynist, chauvinistic bastard. Plays and even plays in Fantasia's face by flirting with Mr. in Fantasia's home, because technically it's Mr.'s home, but she's upkeeping, she's cleaning, she's taking care of his kids and not her own. Like, she's doing all of that. And literally washing the ass of Taraji, just for Taraji to be woo and flirtatious and raising her thick ass thighs in front of Mr. Bitch, you deserve your ass beat. But you knew you could do that with Fantasia, because Fantasia was not Danielle's character, because Danielle's character would have beat your ass like she did Sophia. So you bitches be the yaps. You pick me bitches know who to try and who not to try. You pick me bitches be on some sisterhood when it benefits you, but then play up bitch like Jade with Cardi and Offset. But we're not getting into that. We're not even gonna get into that. You bitches are the yaps for toxic dick, and then you bitches cry foul when you end up being the goofy, when you end up being the dummy bitch. I don't like that. I don't like that. Pygmy bitches are the odds because they give cover to toxic patriarchy. He never acted like this with me, ass bitches. Mr.'s pappy is a misogynist and even worse than Mr. Sees Taraji as a hoe. Literally every man in this film trying to make Taraji feel like she was the worst cum bucket ever to exist, just because she decided to follow her dreams, just because she decided to be a blues singer. Literally, she wasn't prostituting. Even though she did, I mean, that's her business, bitch. Eat ass. It's not like her pappy wouldn't go to a brothel. It's not like Mister wouldn't go to a brothel. It ain't even like her Reverend Pastor Preachy Pappy TD Jakes before his motherfucking time. It's not like his ass wouldn't have been at the front. So like, what are we talking about? This is why we gotta fucking kill patriarchy. It's nonsense. It's hypocritical and it's dehumanizing to women. And all throughout the film, Taraji's apologizing to her daddy for choosing herself, for choosing her career, for living a decent life, for setting life on her own terms. Bitch, I know you lying. I would never. But that was Taraji. Yeah, so then they clowned Taraji and like, oh, don't bring this hoe into my house and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I will gang jump you through this motherfucking screen, bitch. I could take all you geezers out, bitch. It was just like they had nothing. And the real tea is, and Mister tells you this. The reason why all these men, in particular her pappy and the two Misters, Mr. Senior and Mr. Junior, the reason why they hate Taraji's character is literally because they could not anchor her down. They could not anchor her down with kids. They cannot anchor her down with a shitty ass marriage proposal. Because trust and believe me, if Suge did not go for her fucking career and she stayed with Mister, she would have been Fantasia. I put that on a trillion. I put that on every time you bitches choose dick over your fucking careers, you always end up regretting it. You always regret it. Imagine if Cardi would have played housewife to Offset. She would have been just another baby mama. Her career would have came and left, and then she would have been on TMZ crying about child support because that nigga done blew all his motherfucking money and trying to get into Cardi's. They mad, they big mad because they couldn't tie her down. I'm telling you, men hate liberated women. Men hate women who can think for themselves. Men hate women who don't fucking need them. They hate that shit. They hate that shit. If they can't anchor you down with babies, they can't anchor you down with a pathetic ass weaponized incompetence ring, and they can't psychologically manipulate you, then they fucking hate you. They hate you while they jerk off to your image. Ask Meg the Stallion. They hate the bitch, but they can't get out the bitch's face. Can't get out the bitch's ass. They hate you because they ain't you, and they hate you because they cannot dominate you. And we see that all throughout the motherfucking film. Peep game, bitches. I'm not just giving a review on a movie. I'm giving a social critique. Okay? Moving on. Let me do something real quick. Because YouTube be funny. YouTube be hella funny. Okay. I was trying to see it on my side if it's actual volume on another device. Because again, YouTube be funny. You be thinking that you hitting, you be thinking that you dropping juice, you be thinking that you be hitting the airways, and then you hearing a replay and it's blank, silence, and you like, so it was just me and God. It was just me and God having this conversation, like. But anyway, let's go back into the review. Mistress Pappy is a misogynist, even worse. Mr. sees Taraji as a hope for being an artist and not humble peasant slave girl like Fantasia. You know, you bitches who be talking about you modern women and that's why you need a man. You pearly things bitches, right? What the two misters are mad at Taraji P. Hence's character at. They're mad at her for not playing the trad wife position. All these bitches try to guilt trip you. I'll be motherfucking damned before I would trade off my liberty for just so I can cook and clean for them. I barely like doing that shit for myself. And you think I gotta A trad wife. Like these trad wives are trying to sell you. And the gag is like, if you bitches want to do that shit, do that shit, wife school. If you want to do that shit, do that shit. I'm sure as hell the Supreme Court that took away your right to health care, Roe versus Wade. I'm pretty sure, bitches, if you want to go be a slave to a man, trust and believe me, here's the blueprint. I will specifically conceptualize and categorize and pick out the parts of how Mr. treated his wife and hand it over to you, so you can know exactly what you're entering into. Because if y'all want to be slaves for men, do that shit. Stand in the gap, fill in the gap, be the gap. But you have no rights to make other women choose that misery. If you want to be a bitch in Gilead, you want to be a handmaiden in Gilead, bitch, that's your business. But once you start talking about we as women, as the collective need to do that shit, I'm going to bury you right next to Mr. Bitch. Grave for you, grave for you. Plot for you, plot for you. Tomb for you, tomb for you. Because I know you bitches lying. Send you back to hell where you demons belong. Because I know you bitches lying. Tasia was second pick because she fits the aesthetic of homely, obedient, like a Christian. On top of the fact that she was a girl when Mr. literally bought her off. What Mr. Pappy prefers, what Senior Mr. prefers Tasia's character because she fits the aesthetic of homely, obedient, like a good Christian peasant woman is supposed to be, right? But what Mr. Junior, who is married to Tasia, Mr. Junior prefers Taraji P's character because that's the woman he used to be in a band with. That's the woman that he wanted to be with and be a blues singer with. But his pappy, Mr. Senior, was like, nah, nigga, you gonna work this field with me. You gonna toil this land with me. We gonna make this money. We gonna get our little country dream. You can't leave me and go live your life. Whereas Taraji was like, I don't give a damn if my pappy is the town preacher. I'm feeling to go live my life. Harpo, who is Mr. Junior's son, Harpo moves on quickly with a young girl after him and Danielle split, because Danielle was like, basically, you beating my ass, I'm getting the fuck on. Hell no, me and my girls pack up our shit and we are dipping. And not too long after, Harpo finds him a young thing and makes her Danielle number 2. It's like, y'all men ain't never been it, huh? I don't know what was like pre-patriarchy. I don't know if there's any written information about that. If it was burned in the schools of Alexandria. They were burned in Timbuktu, bitch. Them cracker bastards done stole all of that information, ho. Because like they just always do weaponizing. They just always use women. One woman leaves, just plopping another woman. So now she gonna take care of your kids. She gonna do all that at home cooking because you can't do it. Cause you a lip wrist bitch. Cause you just can't figure out how to clean some shit. How soap and water mixes together. Like is this patriarchy? Oh my god! And just like Danielle, and just like the other poor peasant girls, the new girl not only had to take on a name that really wasn't her. They gave her the name Sophia, but that's not even her name. Throughout the film, she tells you, my name is actually Mary blah 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 blah, bitch. Not Squeak. Not whatever the fuck you nickname or pet name you gave me, bitch. I got a name, ho. And it ain't that. But in the beginning, she was very mousy. And it just goes to show. This to point it out. Y'all hoes be out here talking about black capitalism is gonna save us. Y'all hoes be out here talking about we just need the same system but painted black. If the color purple don't tell you that shit is a flawed fucking position, I don't know what the fuck else is. And we have real life examples of that. Whether we're talking about Baby Doc and Papa Doc, his reign in fucking Haiti and fucked up Haiti, this idea that you can have capitalism, you can have imperialism, you can have exploitation, just paint it black. You can have patriarchy, just paint it black. And all things will be Blinks and teenage eggs, bitch. Blinks and Diddy, bitch. Blinks and Oprah's rape girl school in South Africa, bitch. The system is the problem. The system is the problem. This idea that you can reshape and revamp and repaint, bitch, bye. Bitch, bye. Like, it's so one-to-one in the way of like, capitalism would never be what it is today without chattel slavery. 1-to-1, niggas. 1-to-1. You would not have this wealth without the exploitation. But y'all niggas saying we can have the same thing. We work hard and pull up bootstraps and go to college and invest and spend black. Is that what the crackers did to get their money? Did they put their money together and buy white? And is that what they done did? Be fucking for real. Be fucking for real. This idea that we could do the same thing the crackers doing but painting it black is a failed fucking theory. And we see that with the bourgeois niggas who telling us that they ain't gonna do shit for us but die black. They ain't gonna do shit for us but sell us more bullshit. They're not gonna do shit for us but flex on our broke asses. There you go, Talented 10. There you go, Boule. There you go, Black Excellence. There you go, the Obamas. Obama saw Black excellence during his fucking reign. He was dropping bombs on East Africa. He's half East African. He's half. He's from fucking Kenya. But you dropping bombs on Kenyans? What part of Black excellence is that? But when you black and you work for the deep state, you the puppet of the motherfucking imperialist empire. What the fuck else would be your playbook? What the fuck else would be your agenda? What the fuck else would be on your itinerary? They're not giving you this position just for the fuck of it. You gotta play ball. You gotta play and follow orders. And we're seeing the same thing with The Color Purple. The same exploitation that we saw in I don't think it was necessary vis-a-vis the same era. I think this film that I'm about to reference is later within the historical timeline. But in ways of intra-violence, intra-harm, intrasexual deviation, we see the similarities in the film, the modern remake version of Flowers in the Attic, the origin story that was on the Lifetime channel. We see the same intra-violence when we see that patriarchal structure, that top-down structure, the violence outside of the home that travels in the home. We saw that with the origin story where the father was preying on his own daughter, and we see the same shit with Mr. preying on Fantasia, and also was preying on Haley's character. This idea that we can have the same thing that crackers have, but they ain't black power, black girl magic, melanin magic. You get the same fucking outcome, bitch. Because it's the system. It's the system that is rotten to the core. Now let's get back into the review. So Harpo moves on quickly with a young girl, even younger than Danielle, from the Orange is the New Black, to leave Danielle as a struggling single mother, whereas he is on the entrepreneurial white capitalist dream. So this is when he told his daddy that he was going to build this house for Danielle because Danielle needs the house. And that's when his daddy was like, you still, fucking with that Danielle bitch? Like, why are you building a house on a motherfucking bayou? Like, that's dumb. It's insecure. Like, if anything, you should be planting rice crops so you can make money off of that. And he's like, well, this lady's having my kids. She needs the house. I'm going to do what I need to do and take care of business. So he built it. Then they had that fight. Danielle left because she's like, you're not about to beat my ass. Then Harpo's like, all right, well, I'm building this shit. Let me turn it into a juke joint. And the father was like, why would you turn this into a juke joint when, like, it's the bayou? It's smelly. It's dirty. Who the fuck is coming out here to, like, kick it? And then Fantasia's character was like, you know who should come here? Suge. Suge should sing. If she sings, people gonna come out. Suge did come out. So, giving you, you know, the filling in the blanks. How do we got it here? So, when Danielle's character left, Harpo turned the house into a juke joint, and that's when he was on his entrepreneur gaze, and that's when he moved on to the new younger bitch, and he was on his about to make some money, about to become part of the capital. I want to say I'm using capitalist very loosely here. But what I mean by it, it was like he's on his black business tip. It wasn't like, oh, liberation. It wasn't, oh, like these crackers got their foot on our necks. We still don't got our human rights. Like, are we gonna, you know, do anything intercontinental? Around the time of the movie, the way that the storyline goes, it was at the time of, like, again, Reconstruction. There was a movement of the time during that era of back to Africa. Not only with the Marcus Garvey movement, but this idea, even from the United States government, where they were offering Black Americans, this is before all the other folks came, including foreign Blacks, Italians, Irish, all these other motherfuckers. It was just the Indians, aka Native Americans, the crackers, poor and rich, and the Blacks. Even the Mexicans wasn't really a conversation at the time. Not until the white crackers went to war and they needed cheap labor. That comes later. So at that time, during the Reconstruction era, there was this Black Back to Africa movement where Black folks were being offered the opportunity to resettle in what is now Liberia. And that was supposed to be a makeshift, no accountability, no reparations, no real fucking idea, agenda, itinerary, no peace, no politics, no drawn up agreement, no. Where the United States was basically like, we're about to dump these African Americans in Liberia. We're about to turn them into, because they tried it. Your cracker ass government tried it. They were trying to make a makeshift Israel and Palestine situation with Black Americans in Liberia. It tragically did not work. A lot of bloodshed, and there's more nuance to it. I'm giving you the very brief, very generalized, very condensed version. But those African Americans who settled in Liberia at that time, at that era, were very much on their colonizer shit, was very much on their white cracker shit. There was very much of a, I'm the reformed Negro and get like us. Very much Boule, very much talented 10, which added on to the bloodshed. Not only with the intervention or the cracker colonialism of the British Empire and the bloodshed that they brought, but like it was all types of fuckery, all types of upside down fuckery. And y'all could do more research. You can read. You can get into more details about this. Like YouTube has videos on this. The internet itself, libraries. Like if you want to do the research, you very much can. The question is, do you actually want to do the research? But my point is, like, the politics of the era is not being discussed. The politics of the era was not mentioned throughout the film. And that's intentional, and that's by design too, to give the perception of this forward trajectory, to give this perception of like child slavery was bad, but like Black folks was doing the right things. They were emulating white folks, and if they just kept their nose to the ground, did their yes or no sas, paid their taxes, eventually they would become white. That like that bullshit ass cult ADOS FBA bullshit. If we just play the game, then we too can be white. Strange Fruit says otherwise, Billie Holiday. But let's continue. to leave Danielle as a struggling single mother, whereas he is the entrepreneurial white American capitalist, loose term capitalist dream, fitting the cis het patriarchal arc to the T. Very much grab myself up by the bootstraps, very much modeling myself after these crackers, very much Carter G. Wilson type of teas, very much like, how do I earn my keeps? Versus radical politics. That was actually happening at the time. Didn't even mention Ida B. Wells, who was really on her anti-lynching campaigns, who's very much on this like giving or pushing for Black civil rights, Black human rights. Like she was very much doing the work, getting stories of brutality and harms that were happening to Black folks in the South. Like she was really fucking doing the motherfucking work. She was organizing. She was in communications. Like she was writing her newspaper. Like she was really that chick. And none of that influence was depicted in the film. And again, this is very much a narrow film from the body of work of Alice Walker. However, y'all whores love doing Hollywood movies where you add a non-existent, historical scene where you'll interject a white savior that never fucking happened. Y'all remix real life from in these biofilms and these documentaries. Y'all always do that shit. Y'all always add scenes, remove scenes, loosely based scenes. So if y'all hoes really wanted to use politics, but Oprah don't want to, so you hoes was never going to. And that's true too. Someone in the comments, Stacy said, I smell weave and bonnets. Gag is, I am not wearing either. So unless you talk about yourself, I don't know who you talking to. And I'm not against bonnets and I'm not against weaves. Not only is that an anti-Black statement, but like, what was that supposed to prove? Because I'm pretty sure your favorite artists from like Fantasia to Beyonce also wear wigs, also wear weaves, also wear bonnets, and your favorite presidents, your favorite cracker ass presidents, like George Washington, was known for fucking wearing weaves, fucking wearing makeup, and fucking wearing heels. So what the fuck is you really fucking trying to say here? I don't take kindly to anti-Blackness. Take that shit on somewhere else. Thank you. Back to the review. Don't try that shit here. I don't like that. So another point I wanted to make is that the watering down of our African identity to fit the white muted gaze, again, without the politics itself, the cinematography, the dancing, the vivid colors, the animation, the expression, like, yes, bitch, yes. But outside of that, the politics and substance, it just was not hitting. It was a failure. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, I felt like it was very much like, it was like, it's giving like, dear white people. It's giving like the mission of Wakanda was to add the cracker into the scene and the cracker helped save the day. It's giving me like, how do we make white people comfortable? It's very much giving me like Django. It's very much giving me, what's that movie with Forrest Whitaker and Mariah Carey and David Banner? It's giving me like, how do we tell our story that makes white people comfortable? And I'm like, if you getting your ass beat, you being raped on the regular, you dealing with white violence, you dealing with the crime, you dealing with burning crosses, you ain't got no motherfucking rights, bitch. Like, is you really dancing? What? Is you really singing? Like, you're not even doing capoeira where it looks like you dancing, but you really fighting, really getting your stripes out. Like, what? Like, huh? Like, you singing and humming, but you're not putting no freedom papers into that shit. You're not giving runaway Underground Railroad tricks and trips. You were just singing and dancing for the fuck of it. I know you lying. So that part of it was just like, it's unbelievable to me. I cannot. I have a bad day at work. I'm thinking about anarchy. Like I have a bad day. I'm like, I'm so radicalized, bitch. When am I ready to retire, bitch? Who's gonna blow the conch, bitch? When are we gonna be out here doing liberation? It's like, where is my assignment? What y'all need me to do, bitch? Like, I'm ready. And that's just a bad day of work. You telling me you will press from sun up to sun down to I can to I can't, and you still got energy to the who and he and her and him and he and ha ha ha, and I'm like, I know you lying. I know you lying. I just know you lying. I just know you lying. And that part of it, I felt like they added this musical aspect to it to make it more digestible for the crackers. Because for some reason, these cracker devils are the bane to our existence. They fucking up the water. They fucking up the air. They fucking up our generational wealth or the lack thereof. They fucking it up for all of us. But now we... We gotta make sure that we have tissues and mayo on standby. We gotta talk in a nice, soft voice. If you put on your best British accents, because if it sounds Caucasian, if it sounds European, then maybe they won't get into it to say, you're the bad guy in the story, but I gotta watch how you feel? This pussyfooting around what white people feel and think. Meanwhile, they really out here doing genocide in real time. In real time. In real time. But we can't call that shit out because they gonna get mad? Because they gonna get sad? Bitch, I know. Not the motherfuckers who the corn snowflake. That's facts over feelings. So I'm just like, Oprah, I know it is your fucking work. I know the devil is in you. I know it was your fucking doing who done said turn this bitch into a musical. Black trauma musical. Sexual abuse musical. And I know it was you, bitch. Because I didn't forget about that South African girls' school, bitch. I didn't forget her. I know it was your raggedy ass idea. If it was up to you, you would have them folks in Maui. After the motherfucking natural disasters in the forest fires. I know if it was up to your raggedy ass, you would have had all the Maui folks dance like Michael Jackson for a plate, for a chicken wing ding plate. I know your ass would do that shit because you are a shit ass capitalist bitch in its truest form. I know you would be like, dance for me. Dance for a plate. Dance for a Hawaiian slice of pizza, which is not even authentically Hawaiian. It's a marketing campaign. But nonetheless, you'd be out, put on the hula skirt, to do the little ukulele. I know your trash ass would have them do that shit. Because you a cracker through and through. You a cracker with black skin and bomb ass hair, but nonetheless a fucking cracker. Nonetheless. And that's what I'm seeing. That's what I was seeing in the film. Like it was it's the watering down of our humaneness, our Africanness, our true storiness for the muted white gaze. From the Caribbean feathers, when my girl Taraji came out and she was giving us this grand performance. She was in that beautiful body hugging, curvaceous red ensemble, and she was giving a showgirl. She was giving us what do you call them? Is it called Go Girl? She was giving us the feathers. She was giving us that. And it was reminding me of the Caribbean Festival. It was giving me just black ass fantastic. Like, you ever been to a black ass function? Whether it was Carnival, whether it was Jouvel, whether it was a African dance drumming circle. Like, you ever been somewhere black ass? It was giving me the vibes of very black, but also, it was also giving me like dance, nigga, dance for the cracker gaze. It was very much giving me that because all of this black assness is packaged by the whites, produced by the whites, marketed by and for the whites. So as I'm looking at this and being like, black ass, everything, in my political awareness, I'm very much like, oh, so white folks can feel like they're the good guys. When historically, not so much. Classic LOL complaining about race while being a racist. Got it. So if I'm a racist, how am I able to suppress and oppress you, Stacey? How y'all come and troll on Christmas? That's how I know you an ain't shit ass bitch in real life. How the fuck you come? Crackers are the devil, bitch. On Christmas, on your motherfucking savior's motherfucking birthday, bitch, you come here to troll a black woman? Oh, you cracker devil. Hey, shit. But you stay on alert. You stay on goal. That's what I will say. You hoes never get tired of being motherfucking menaces, bitch. Y'all never take a day off it being a motherfucking pain in the motherfucking ass. Y'all never get tired of being a motherfucking ick. Y'all never get tired of being a motherfucking pain in someone else's existence. Y'all never get tired of being a thorn in somebody else's motherfucking spine. Y'all hoes never get tired, bitch. You go harder in the paint than a motherfucking Energizer Bunny, bitch. That bull ain't got shit on you, crackers. That's for sure. That's for sure. I'd be damned. If I was a evangelical Christian, you think I'd be listening to what this nigger's gonna say? Bitch, I'm celebrating my Savior's birthday. You crackers. Y'all never took a day off. Y'all never take. The government gave us a day off. The crackers gave it, but not the federal crackers gave us a day off, but not you, bitch. You said I'm gonna work overtime, ho. I'm gonna work on my PTO. I'ma still work. The cracker devil never sleeps. That's for sure. Um. So after Taraji does the big performance, she's in the red get up gown, she's giving us feathers, she's giving us this performance. And honestly, I don't know if Taraji did the singing, but bitch, I don't even give a fuck because she looks so good. Okay. Like the makeup, the outfits, the acting. Okay. I don't know if she did the singing part, but it don't even matter because she looks so good doing it. And when she does the whole, the flirtations is giving us like a Vegas residency, right? When they're doing the performance, it's not just like these whack ass artists where they just stand on the mic and just give you a little doo wop. It's a whole presentation. So it's like the movement means something. It's dancing to the song. It's giving you a performance. And then at the end, where like basically it's climactical. So once the song ends, you're supposed to be in the arms of your lover or the arms of the person that you're flirting with. Kind of like how Usher did Kiki when he had his Las Vegas residency. So when Taraji lands on her lover that she's single to, she actually lands in the arms of Fantasia and they're giggling and they're giddy together and it's very fucking sapphic. And you can see Mr. looking at Taraji's character like, bitch, I thought you was singing to me. I thought you was serenading me. And Taraji was like, Mr. Fuck you. I'm looking at Tasia. And I was like, oh, he mad. He mad. And he about to get on his homophobic shit. He about to get on his anti-woman shit, his lesbians are trying to rule the world, blah, 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 devil music, turning bitches lesbians. Like, he gonna get on in his little bitch boy feelings because the girl who got away actually ended up in the arms of the woman that he thinks is ugly and black and this and the third. The bitch that you thought was the reject that was second place is actually top choice for the girl who got away. Eat that, bitch. That wasn't said in the film, but that was his dream girl and the slave girl never crossed his cis het patriarchal mind that they would choose each other over him. Danielle and Harpo playing rebound games that leads to a bar fight. That was interesting because I was just like, what in the Jerry Springer is happening right now? How does Harpo come into the motherfucking jukebox that Harpo done fixed up with her new man that she pregnant by, but she's still married to Harpo? I'm telling you, a whole Jerry Springer situation. Meanwhile, Harpo's no good ass is moved on to the young tenderoni, and he's trying to display her as supposedly wife number 2 on the come up, and she could play step mammy to the kids that he done had with Danielle's character. So I'm like, oh, you trying to do Sophia like how you doing Fantasia's character? I think the fuck not. And that's how they got into a fight. Because even though they're trying to flex with their new partners to each other, here goes Harper trying to slow dance with Danielle's character as if he don't got a new thingy, and as if Danielle's character ain't got a whole new husband that she pregnant by. Like, this allo-romantic, allo-sexual shit is just not it. Like, this is so messy. But I was watching. And I was just like, this ain't even it. But soon as they get into their little fuckery, the bar fight starts. And I'm just like, though this is ridiculous and very like toxic and very much like animalistic, impulsive, irrational, very testosterone, I watch it from afar, from like the silver screen. But I love that my girlies, Tasia, and Taraji was TTs. Tasia and Taraji, TTs, were able to leave the bar scene scot-free, because I would hate if they got they cute little faces busted up, caught some motherfucking glass in the whirlwind. I'm glad that they don't left, because if the niggas gonna fight, let them niggas fight. And that just reminds me, it just goes to show that niggas is niggas, men are men. They was beating each other's asses in Reconstruction when they got drunk, and they beating each other's, well, they're not beating each other's asses today. Now they're just shooting each other. They shooting up the spot. So they got worse. They got worse. But it goes to show you, men will always find a reason to do violence. Moving on. Tasia confesses her second citizenship to Taraji as a plea to guilt her to stay. So Taraji's character, she on the up and up girl. They don't seen her, heard her, watched her at the juke joint, and now she got more performances on the way. She about to go to Memphis, to the big city, Memphis, Tennessee, girl. She like, no, sweetheart, I was here for a hot second, but I gotta go. I gotta get this money. Gotta show them what they missing. And Tasha's like, no, please don't go, because if you go, Mrs. gonna treat me worse. She's only nice to me when you're here. And Taraji's character is like, baby, I hear you, but I'm gonna come back for you. And Tasha's like, can I go? And she's like, no, sweetheart, you can't go this time around, but the second time around, I got you. And she says Mr. treats Tasia like a human when Taraji is around. And also they cut to that scene in the next scene. It's kind of like I don't know how we call this in cinematography, but when they go from like the macro view to the intro view, so like it's a view from like a drone view, so it's a view of the aerial, and then they go closer to the people and the dialect that they're having face to face. So they had that type of shot, and in that shot, it says the ad on the building, it says the flying ace. And I was like, is the billboard that says the flying ace, is that an Easter egg? Y'all tell me, is that an Easter egg to subliminally, these Caucasian words, state that Tasha's character, Tasia, Google autocorrect me doing what I don't ask it to do. But Tasia's character, are they trying to reference her as ace, meaning asexual? Because that also ties into the character arc. And I was kind of feeling that, and I was kind of thinking that, but I didn't want to project. But I felt like maybe she was ace in the sense of like, I talked about it. I wrote more about it in the notes. I said that in gender identity and oblivious to her own sexual identity or lack thereof, her body for others' pleasure and servitude. She, like an empty vessel waiting to be used to others' satisfaction, never to her own satisfaction or for her own pleasure, her own control, her own doing, her own knowing, her own initiation. And I'm saying this to say is that is the movie trying to say that Tasia's character is asexual? Because throughout the film itself, you don't see her initiate sex. You don't even see her engage in sex. And not engage in sex as Mr. trying to force itself on her, but like initiating sex or like taking it to the next step or insinuating that she feels horny or she feels hot and bothered. Like, it does not exist. And I know for in real life, victims of sexual abuse tend to either go the direction of hypersexual, so some end up being very promiscuous, and as a way of regaining control, regaining the narrative of their victimhood. And then others, they go to like a dormant stage where they don't engage in sex. They are very hermit. They don't engage in their sexuality. They may not actually be asexual, but they live I wouldn't say an asexual lifestyle. Like, let's not do that. But they live what do you call those people? Abstinence. Like they don't engage in sex, they don't engage in romance, they don't engage in any of that sort of activity. And I wonder, in that billboard, was that an Easter egg? The flying ace, was that an Easter egg to subliminally put out there that our girly Tasia might actually be asexual? Moving on, Tasia does a lot of daydreaming escapism. So this is interesting because they show Tasia and Taraji in the theater, and then Tasia has this daydream about her and like Taraji basically serenading each other, very much 1930s showgirl-esque. They're dancing, they're singing, they're flirting with each other, and then they kiss in the daydream. But in the theater of them watching the film together, while Tasia's having the daydream, in the real life scene of them sitting in the theater, Tasia and Taraji, they kiss. So I'm like, okay, Saffic. I was like, that came after the Ace billboard scene. So I was like, are you throwing my theory in for a loop? Are you trying to say that maybe she is Ace? But because gender is so fluid and like sexuality is too, you can be asexual and still engage in romantic relationships because it's a spectrum. You can be asexual and still have sex and not desire sex or engage in sex like the typical allo romantics and folks who engage in active sexual performance. You could be asexual and partner up with someone who's heterosexual or homosexual and have a balanced relationship. You can be ace and do everything that a quote unquote normal heterosexual couple does besides the sex. So you could be kissing, holding hands, cuddling, affectionate, but you just don't do the penetration. So like, there's a spectrum. That's the point. I also wonder, when Tasia was having her daydreams and her escapism, are we trying to code Tasia character Celia as neurodivergent? Because I also thought about her character, the way that she comes across. Sometimes it's not timid, sometimes it's something different, and sometimes different is neurodivergent. So I also thought about that too. Are we trying to code her or insinuate that she is neurodivergent? Which is cool. No complaints here, but I thought that might be something in the writing too. Tasia is having a hard girl crush on Taraji. And I wonder if Taraji notices or she just thinks that, oh, she's a fan of me, you know, she's spitting by me, she has a little girl crush, or does she Taraji P. Hence's character very well aware of it and she plays into that. Kind of like, when when a young girl has a little young boyfriend and she does the puppy girl and she does, puts on the little cute little outfits to get her way. I wonder if part of their playfulness and carefreeness and even sapphic relationship in Taraji's positionality and engaging in that relationship. I wonder if Taraji's whole thing is like, she my pet. I'm gonna have her in the palm of my hand. I know she crushing on me. I can get her to do whatever I want to do. I wonder if she's utilizing that and using Taisha's character on a low key. Not necessarily nefarious, but very much of like, I got you wrapped around my finger. And I think for Tasia, she has a sapphic girl crush because Taraji is her idol. And I don't think the girl crush is sexual because, again, throughout the film, we don't see anything sexual. We don't even see a reference to anything sexual with Tasia and Taraji. But you can see the admiration. You can see the wanting to be close, wanting to be in intimacy with Taraji, wanting to hold her hand. You can see that wanting of it, but not like, I want to put my pussy down your throat, if that makes sense. And I think crushing on Taraji's confidence, aesthetics, and charisma. I don't even think it's more so, again, I want to eat you out. I think it's for Tasia's character, it's more so like, I want to be you. I want to be able to have that power over men. I want to be able to be that confident woman and speak my truth like Danielle. I think that is what it was for Tasia more than it is, I want to see your titties. If that makes sense. It's low key and I don't know if I can even say healthy, but I don't think it's that bad. It's kind of giving me tease of single white female without all that crazy psychopathic shit, where it's like, I admire you and I want to be aspects of you. Like you hosts who love your favorite celebrities, who love the Beyoncés, who love the Rihannas, who love the Cardi B's, and you model your set. Oh, y'all grown, super grown ass women talking about you are Barbie girls. Mm-hmm. That type of energy I think she has for Taraji's character. I thought it was iconic seeing Taraji run down the dirt road in her heels, okay, grabbing the mail to give to Tasia that indeed her sister been writing to her. Mr. could have pulled them away. Mr. could have threatened Tasia about not opening the mail because it's his mail. But when Tasia found out that her sister been writing her letters, that her sister has been alive for all these years, and that it was Taraji who not only discovered this, but basically gave Fantasia the information, not only the letter that Mr. had been hiding from her, but all the letters that was stashed in the house in clear sight of all the letters that Tasia's sister has been writing her over the years. The character that Haley Bailey plays has been contacting her all these years, but Mr. was keeping them and hiding them away from her. Taraji P. Henson's character finds the letters within the house, doing some snooping, and then hands them all over to Tasia to read and to see that not only is her sister alive, not only did her sister not forget about her, not only has her sister been writing her every week for like the last 15 decades, of course, but let's say 2 decades. That not only warms the heart of Tasia, but it also makes her feel like, you really are a cracker bastard. Not only have you been abusing me, but you kicked out my sister because you were trying to rape her and she didn't want to be raped. But also, you try to make me think that she forgot about me or she died, but she's been in the same motherfucking state, literally right across town, literally doing the same work I'm doing. Your ass knew this? If I was Tasia in that scene right then and there, I would have killed him. Right then, as soon as his drunk ass came back, I would have shot him dead and then buried him out back. I know you lying. You fucking demon, you. And like I said, it's crazy Tasia never put 2 and 2 together that Mr. was stealing her letters in the mail. Taraji really an earth angel, like only a black woman can. I know that's right. Mr. is a rat bastard for stealing Taja's relationship, love for her sister because he's a bitch ass nigga who couldn't have Suge Taraji P. Henson's character, or stand up to his bastard pappy who hates Taraji and made Mr. give up his dreams so Mr. could be a free sharecropper. Trying to live the dreams of your parents while they actively being colonizers. Tragic. Patriarchy is a team sport, and all the men are in on oppressing the women. From Taraji P. Henson's pappy, who's mad at her because she chose herself, from Mr. beating up and raping Tasia, to all the men, to even Harper trying to put hands on Danielle and then trying to do the weird flex shit. Like, none of these men were redeemable. None of these men were redeemable, but like, that's just an example of patriarchy. Patriarchy itself is not redeemable. Patriarchy itself is misogynoir, is feminicide, and that's just true shit. There wasn't even growth in these men's character. Honestly, you see the women grow, but the men are just literally the men. Like, literally the men. That is what they were there for, to be men. The development, the character arc, the personal growth, the women, all the women, even mousy ass, squeaky ass Sophia. Patriarchy is a team sport, and all the men are in on oppressing women, kicking they can down the road again. The men who were being abused and taken advantage of by white antebellum South, by white patriarchy, they also got guns to shoot women that they can't rape. Why can't they use their guns? Why can't they come up with a coalition? Why can't they take back what's their manhood or dignity, whatever the fuck that them crackers took for them? No. They decided to do the same vulturism, but in black face, in black male face. Because it's easy to kick the can of oppression down than it is to punch up. And that's true tea. So at the scene where we saw Tasia reading the letter of her sister, and we saw the visual concept of like the sister going back to Africa again. This is the going back to Africa movement, African Americans being resettled in Liberia. So her sister, Tasia's sister, Halle Berry's character, was one of those African Americans who were trying to repatriate back to Africa. And she talks about how shit went awry, a lot of bloodshed. The British abandoned them. The British was out here fucking shit up per usual with their fucked up teeth and horrible fucking food. So she was just telling her like that, like you may not know, but this is what I've been going through. Like, this is what the family that hired me was going through. Like, your kids are actually safe with us. We are actually, your kids are not just out in there in the world. Like, they ended up being taken care of by the folks that I work for. And I work for them for shelter and food, like a slave, like sharecropping. So she's like, I'm a nanny for this black family. This black family adopted your kids. We try to go back to Africa. The shit failed for us. And when she's giving up a storyline and we're seeing it display, we see Africa versus Africa. And not even versus in like contempt, but like vis-a-vis. And we see Halle Bailey's character and the kids and the family that she worked with on the shores of Africa, or what they're trying to present as Africa. And then you see these chieftains sitting in their royal attire being carried on I don't know what the fuck you call them shits, but like, you know, those old movies, those old depictions of like going to the native king or the native chieftain, and then the stereotype of that chieftain sitting on this flat bed that's carried on the shoulders of other men, and that's supposed to represent royalty because not only is this person not walking on their feet, but they're being carried by other men. It was giving that. But even with that depiction, it didn't say, oh, this is the Yoruba tribe, this is the Igbo tribe. Like, it didn't give, like, who are these people? Why are they here? What is this ensemble about? It was literally just niggas in African symbology, and like that was just what that was. And I'm not even sure if the depiction of the Native Africans are even Native Africans to Liberia. Like, is that how Native Liberian dress? Is that how they move? Like, it was just very, it was like an updated stereotype. If I could make it clear, it was like an updated stereotype. Instead of like uba 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 and feathers, it was just like all gold everything and kente cloth with the same stereotypical setup. And I was just like, you could have left that on the cutting room floor. Like, you could have left that in the editor's room. You didn't have to green light that. Cause like, what the fuck is that? And like, this mixing of African indigenous symbols as a unified identity is a myth, and it flattens African history. Again, when we say like Africa or African or tribalism, there are 54 states or 54 countries rather that make up the continent of Africa. So like, that's 54 different countries, and within those 54 different countries, there's hundreds of different ethnic groups, aka tribes, which is also a derogatory term because we never say, Europeans are tribes. We say ethnic groups. So why does it, when it comes to Africa, it's tribalism and it's not ethnic groups? Peep game. Like Michael X said, peep the words that they use in the connotation, peep the context, peep game. So it was just flattening it down because it didn't give context to who these Africans are, what ethnic group they belong to. Are they even wearing their indigenous cultural attire, and not just what they wear now, but like what they were wearing of the time of the going back to Africa movement. So like, I'm peeping because again, if we're just going based off of visuals, yeah, cool. But if we're getting into politics and historical, y'all failed because Oprah is a fucking op. And Spielberg too. And Haley's character being a slave girl for food and shelter and trading her labor of taking care of what came to be Tasia's children, but at the time, very much the children that she had to care for as a child care provider. Her filling in that role for food and shelter is no different than the economic situation for Black women and girls today, especially poor Black women and girls and foreign Black women and girls. You know how many foreign Black women who come to the settler colony and they end up being people who work underneath the table, do these jobs without paper with little pay, or end up doing jobs like childcare, daycare, or working in the back room in the kitchen of a restaurant for undignified wages, if that. And if they say anything, if they refuse, that slave owner, aka business owner, could always use ICE and other methods of legality to shut down said slave. Like, that happens more times than you think. Whether we're talking about the African hair braider, whether we're talking about the Haitian caregiver, like that happens more often than you think. What about the girlies who are kept women for a place to stay? Girls who are on a lower level, but very much move in the same way as a JT, as a Carisha, very much, transactional. That happens more than you think, especially again, the poor girlies, the foreign girlies. So if we can see that during itself, and we see that reality vis-a-vis not just in the United States, like in Europe, African girls are being trafficked, sex trafficked into Europe, being sold to do sexual acts for €5, thinking that they're going to get a job, thinking that they're going to resettle, thinking that they're going to get a better opportunity in Italy, in France, in Germany, but in reality, they're being pimped off. So the more things change, the more they stay the fuck the same. Again, politics, material conditions, settler colonialism. So we almost through. We almost through. We almost through. Let me take a sippy sip. Let me take a sippy sip. When I talk too much and I talk with my chest out, sometimes my nose start getting a little bit what is the term? Congested. Everybody loves talking about how the girlies are doing OnlyFans. How the girlies always talking about selling pussy, this and the third. You know why? Cause $7.25 a fucking hour is undignified and they don't pay no goddamn rent. You know why? Because these employers don't think nor feel or have no federal or state pressure to actually give people a fucking livable wage. So what they won't pay you to do in a legal sense, in a dignified sense, what they won't pay you a livable wage to do, they will spend that big bucks if you split your legs open, if you pop that pussy, if you throw that neck. What they won't pay you to do a customer service job. They will pay you when you undress yourself, when you're exploited, when you're degraded, when you're commodified, when you're sexualized. They'll pay it. So before you start judging the girlies, condemning the girlies, sex shaming the girlies, think about the system that allows that type of denigration to happen. People are going into sex work. People are going to sex trafficking just to pay bills, bitch. How is it that we in the richest country, vis-a-vis chattel slavery, makes this country the richest country? And the ken of former slaves still can't get shit, still can't get ahead, still can't get their basic needs met. Built this country trillion times over and can't even get a rinky dinky Section 8 voucher. Class war. Being recognized by the culture industry Inc. is reboot, meaning the white parasite becomes even greater evidence of racism than being totally ignored. Got it. In any case, sounds like you're upset with class issues. On the right track. I don't know how y'all Caucasians tell me. It's literally the color purple and all black cast. And yet y'all Caucasians found your way into the life. That is astounding, bitch. Astounding. Y'all do the jobs that the feds ain't even asking you to do. You doing COINTELPRO on your off day, bitch. Why are you here? That's crazy. Why are you here? Y'all torment yourself. It's crazy because y'all always be in our asses. Homo, no homo, and everything in between. Be in our asses, catching all types of cholera. But then be so scared for your life that you gotta black people on sight. So scared for your life, but you stay up our asses. Like a colonoscopy, you stay in our asses. But you scared, bro. But you scared. But you're always here. How does that make sense? How does the math? Crazy. Crazy things. Crazy things. On your crack birthday, y'all find yourself in this black ass lie. How does that happen? How does that happen? When it's St. Patty's Day, especially where I stay, bitch, I'm I'm running for cover, bitch. I'm in hibernation, bitch. The crackers are outside. They are unruly. They are on their drugs and they alcohol. I'm saying my black ass the fuck on home. Because I have no business being around them crackers, especially on St. Patty's Day. Because they don't need a reason to act wild and get drunk. St. Patty's Day is the reason for what they was already going to do anyway. So I'm not. But you crackers are here. Crazy. Crazy things. Crazy things. So, we get to the scene where I'm just like, we could really get grisly. This scene came on, bitch, and we could really get grisly. I'm like, where are my Hamas niggas at? Because we about to set it up. Like, what? This scene right here got me into a tizzy where I was just like, we gotta beat all the asses. We gotta bully Kai Kupiten because these white holes are out of fucking control. And it is the scene where Danielle was just trying to get some ice cream for her babies. And she told her babies, these crackers got no taste buds. They don't know nothing about nothing. All they got is vanilla. They ain't got no chocolate. And the ice cream stand guy is like, no problem. These are the ice cream. It'll be 5 cents, whatever it was. And this white lady, who's the mayor's wife, and I hate this bitch. When she came on the scene, I hate this bitch. I hate that bitch. I hate her glasses. I hate her attitude. I hate that bitch. That bitch needed to be mollywopped right then and there. So she pulled up on Danielle, and Harper's in the car. Harper's in the car because he drove them. He, waiting in the car, waiting for them to buy the ice cream so they can hop in the car. This cracker bitch, this white devil hoe, sees Danielle and says, "Ooh, you should work for me because you look like you just a good maid. The way your kids are so well behaved, they clean. Oh, and Tasia was with them too. Tasia was in the car. She's like, the one cracker bitch says to Danielle, oh, your kids are clean. They're well behaved. You should work for me." And Danielle's like, nah, I'm good. I'm just teaching my stuff for my kids. Like, I'm not looking for a job. And this cracker bitch says, no, you should work for me. All the Negroes say I'm a kind worker. I'll pay you good too. You should work for me. And Danielle's like, bitch, you heard me? I said, no, bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you? And that bitch was like, bitch, she like the way she addressed Danielle was like, how dare you, bitch, tell me no? And it wasn't just a no because you're rejecting the job. It was a how dare you, bitch, tell me no when accessing your body, your labor. It's that cracker energy of like, I don't have to respect your humanity. I do not have to respect your boundaries. Whatever that you have down to your DNA belongs to me, Henrietta Lacks. Down to your personhood, niggers on the auction block. That get out mentality. Ooh, your skin's so clean, so black, so luscious. I just have to have it. I just have to own you. I just have to have access to you. You belong to me. You are my property. And that's what the cracker bitch was more upset about. So when Danielle was like, bitch, you heard me the first time, bitch, I don't want to work for you. She slaps Danielle. Danielle turns around and slaps that white bitch back because Danielle ain't no hoe. And then all those white cracker pig bastard devil. They all gang up on Danielle, all men, and they beat her. They arrest her. And the only thing Danielle can say is take away my kids. Take my kids. To her husband and to Tasia, like, get my kids around here. Like, I don't want them to see this. Get my kids from around here. Take them away. She wasn't thinking about her own life. She wasn't even thinking about her own safety. She was only thinking about her kids. Next scene, we see Danielle locked up, bloodied in a cell. It's only Tasia who came to see her, and that shit broke my. Because is Danielle mean? Yes, the fuck she is. Is she mean as a motherfucking train? Yes, the fuck she is. Is she loud? Yes, the fuck she is. Does she talk shit and pop shit too? Yes, the fuck. But she didn't deserve that. She didn't deserve that. If she's guilty of anything, it's guilty for exerting her fucking boundaries and saying no. But to see her in that state really like did it for me, because it was just like, these cracker bastards just won't let you live. Like me. It's Christmas, bitch. I'm just running a live, just giving you a live report, and these devil cracker bastards coming into her house because they really don't want you to exist. Like Toni Morrison knew what the fuck she was saying. Is like, these crackers always throw racism in your way so you can stop and spend unimaginable amounts of time explaining, exercising, excusing, performing, outlining, displaying, dissertationing your existence. It's a distraction. It's a roadblock. That is what racism is. Because Danielle was literally minding her fucking business, getting fucking ice cream, and this cracker bitch decided to ruin her fucking life. Just like them bitches, the cracker bitches who be crying police and getting black people got in ways of Trayvon Martin, in ways of Emmett Till, in ways of, what was that boy who was playing with a toy and they called the cops on him and said that he was like a grown ass man. Y'all are demons, real time demons, and y'all get people killed for your own little sick satisfaction. You motherfuckers are demons, real life demons. And that shit really did it for me. Because you know what? It reminded me of Sandra Bland. It reminded me of Corinne Gaines. It reminded me of Erica Gardner. It reminded me of Alu Watin. If I said her name right. Mm-hmm. Oluwatoyin Salu. Yes. It reminds me of the countless women who got, who was literally minding their fucking business. To know that you are just on your way existing, and that in and of itself is a fucking death sentence. And the community that you give yourself to, your lifeblood to, the man that you sacrifice for, won't even come see you, won't feed you, won't put money on your books, won't march for you, won't even keep your name alive. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Out of sight, out of mind. Just get you another one, replace you with another one, and keep that shit pushing. Because you're dispensable. As a woman, you're just a thing, you're just an object. You can be replaced. You're not really a human. Men are real humans. They die, the pillar of the community, an empty space that can never be filled, a void. But when you die, just get another bitch, a younger bitch, another model. You're just dispensable. You're replaceable. You're just a thing. You're useful until you're useless. And when you're no longer there to meet and perform the male gaze, you're just nothing. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Even when you bred for him, even when you married him. Whew. Back to review. White women picking up black women like slaves on the auction, thinking black women's labor is for ownership. Crackers are always looking to humble black women. It wasn't enough she and her kids were clean and minding their business. The kind rich cracker bitch had to humble Danielle. And when Danielle wasn't looking for a job, Danielle wasn't asking for a job, Danielle was minding her motherfucking business, but this rich cracker bitch aligned with her white privilege because she was the wife of some electoral figure, some political figure of the town. And because she had that proximity to power, what did she do? She used it to punch down on a black woman in the hierarchy system. That's why I'll never trust you Hillary Clinton bitches. I'll never trust you white bitches. I'll never trust you liberal bitches. I'll never trust you conservative white bitches. Why? Because whenever you have power, you only use it to harm us. Ain't that right, super predator Hillary fucking Clinton taking fucking Jeffrey Epstein fucking flight? You bitch you. You bitch you. That's why I can never trust you bitches, because you don't want the system to end. You don't hate the system. You hate your position within the system. So you're always looking to socially climb off of the literal backs, the literal dead bodies of black people. And I will never ever trust you bitches. I will never ever trust you Elizabeth Warren ass bitch. I will never trust you bitches, because each and every fucking time you show your asses, Margaret Sanger, you show your motherfucking asses each and every motherfucking time. We friends, we sisters, we feminists, until you can literally climb on our backs and stand on our necks for your itty bitty, temporary, limited time offer bump within the level of hierarchy, until the white men push you right back down. It's a boys' club. It's like the original power brokers were white, male, property landowners. No pussy in sight. And the colonial project continues with the same order. Then proceeds to say, she, the cracker bitch, pays fair wages. She's good and fair. But the same cracker bitch got Danielle couldn't beat. Cracker bitches can never mind. Cracker bitches can never be my feminist sisters. They're in on the hierarchy. They're in on it. Just like the men are in on patriarchy, these bitches are in on the hierarchy. They will always punch down, weaponize, and use marginalized people's issues and marginalized people's identities and plights to get them a booster seat within the hierarchy. And once they achieve it, they punch their way down. The same people who elevated them are the same people they punch down. Ask the Democrats, ask the progressives. Hell, even ask your black leaders. Like men, are in on patriarchal gender violence. And those black men who beat Danielle and Tasha had nothing, or Tasia had nothing to say in defense of Danielle. So the same men who beat Danielle and beat Tasia are the same men who had zilch to say when them crackers beat Danielle and arrested Danielle. None of those men who are so brazen in beating the asses of these black women came to see Danielle. They didn't even feed Danielle. The incarceral state's origin starts with the imprisonment of black women, but just black people who just exerted their humanity, who said no, who exerted their boundaries, who pushed back, who said, respect me as a human being. Those are the ones who ended up being strange fruits. Those are the ones who ended up being convict least prisoners. Those are the ones who end up doing 6 years in prison for saying no. But you FBA niggas, cools, menticide fuck offs, you wayward niggas with your revisionist history, thinking that you could plead and beg your way into whiteness, not understanding how other groups of people got their whiteness was based off of their subjugation of us. Ask the Irish, especially the Irish of Boston, how they got their whiteness and what is their relationship to the black Bostonians. Especially a lot of them, Pastor Cod having yards, Irish are often cops. That's how they got their whiteness. So how you gonna get yours, Cop City? How you gonna get yours, Terrell Johnson? How you gonna get yours? The talented 10th, the Boule niggas, they already got their position. They're already playing interference. They already got the CIA paychecks. So they don't need any new niggas. They already got the Obamas. They already working overtime. And that's QT. Only Tasia, even Remy, shake them up, stole a rack, a stack from me, will disable you down. Ma said herself that women prisoners, when she was arrested and locked up for shooting her best friend for allegedly stealing her money, psychopathic ass shit, but very on brand for wannabe capitalists. I'll kill you over dead cracker bucks. Surprise. She even said herself when she was in prison that a lot of the women who she was doing time with didn't have visitors, didn't have people to look out for them, didn't have people sending them care packages, didn't have people putting money on their books. The women were oftentimes alone. The women were very much like Orange is the New Black, having to form relationships with each other who were also doing time, or people that they already had relationships with, who they were already dependent and already emotionally and financially entangled with, who came to see them. And oftentimes they were women too, whether mothers, lovers, sisters, cousins, aunties, nieces, daughters. It was the women who now. Meanwhile, in men's prison, it often is the women who are out here seeing the men, putting money on their books, doing the conjugal visits, and so on and so forth. The men, well, you know your sons. Your sons only care about themselves and nobody else. So you know where they asses were or not. Cracker Bitch had to own Danielle and held her in prison for 6 years, just to, after the 6 years, do this whole public fanfare and be like, same Cracker Bitch who got Danielle arrested. The goodness of my heart, I'm freeing Danielle, and I'm gonna have her work on my plantation just to show her that I forgive her. So even after she done did her time just for saying no, her life is still not hers. Her destiny is still not hers. The cracker bitch still gets her way. Steals your time, steals your freedom, and still gonna make you work for her. Because no is never an option when it comes to exploiters. She gonna get her way, just like a rapist, just like Mister. She gonna get her way. She don't take no for an option. Cracker bitch don't hate the system. They hate their position within the system. And that's why they always complaining and always comparing and contrasting themselves to what the right cracker male bitch gets because she wanna be just like him. She mad that she ain't in the position. She mad she ain't in the captain's seat. Not the fact that the fucking boat exists in the first place. Even though they'll cry about what happened before feminism, before women had rights, before women can own property, they'll always cry about that shit. But everybody else's plight, including foreign women, poor women, non-white women's plight, all of a sudden they don't understand, they ain't never heard, they don't know. So on brand for cracker. Like Hillary Clinton, them hoes are jealous of white men's power to brutality and exploitation, not the system of brutality and exploitation. Mr. gets off on being a black kid cracker to Tasha. Mr. by Taraji saved his life. Yeah, because this is the point where Tasia was giving Mr. a shave, and that was the old time shave where they had the blade, the clean razor sharp edge blade, and then they would put the shaving cream on the neck, and then the person, the barber typically, would shave the cheeks stroke by stroke gently because the shit is sharp. You know, you get real loose and motherfuckers don't come out decapitated. And Tasia had the shot. Tasia had, the blade was to the motherfucking jugular. The blade was to the motherfucking apple, the Adam's apple. And Tasha could. But Taraji came up with her new man in a new car, throwing that money in the air, doing that rich bitch shit, coming in to stunt on them hoes, but really on Mr., not Tasia. And that's the only thing that saved Mr. Because soon as Taraji pulled up honking the horn, Mr. gets up real quick and looks at Tasia like, bitch, is you trying to kill me? But then looked at Taraji real quick and was like, oh, my dream girl is back. But plot twist on that ass, because Taraji knows her motherfucking worth. She got herself with a city slick, okay? He came in there looking like Mos Def in the face and had a hair like Malcolm when he used to perm that shit with a comb. I said, you know what, Taraji? At least you're not with Mr. I can't say shit. At least you're not with Mr. Not only is he married, but he a rat bastard. He ain't shit. So at least you're not pining over him. So when Taraji comes back, Tasia's all excited. They kikiing and whatnot, but Tasia's kind of like, wait, who that man is? And she's like, that's my new man, blah, 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 blah. But I'm here for you. I'm here to come back to show like what I've been on, what I've been doing. I've been on my hot girl shit. I'm back. But I'm also back with a new man. But I'm also back for you. And now, since in the movie, Taraji got married to that new man who looked like Mos Def in the face, that's when Mr. realizes for real, should returns back, he could try to put them back on her. And his weird, he thought that nigga, are you a shy? Like, nigga, you begging Shook and Tasia for you? They both will bury you out in the backyard. Like, you playing too much. You playing too much. Stop it. And Danielle is gonna help bury you. And sermon and spit on your motherfucking grave. Like, girl, stop. Um, Danielle is back from the white abuse. This is when we see the family dinner and everybody's at the table at Mr's house, as well as that's when we see the final conclusion of Tasia and Mr. No. Well, tell me, is Mr. from this movie, the 2023 adaptation, and the original film, is that the same Mr.? Is it? I don't know. Y'all probably, is that it? I don't know. Moving on. And she did experience slavery part 2. So they at the table, they're just getting their meals together, they're pretending like everything's okay, and it's very on brand for Black families. No shame. I'm assuming all families, but like I'm Black, so like my experience is directly with Black folks. So I'm going to be talking about the folks that I know, you know. So on brand for Black families, where it's like all types of trauma is literally right underneath the surface, but everybody gonna act like Uncle Rapist ain't raping the kids. We gonna act like Auntie Stealer ain't stealing. We gonna act like Daddy, the alcoholic gambler, ain't that. Like, this just always right underneath the surface, but everybody gonna play like that ain't it. But everybody's taking cheap shots at each other, passive aggressive subliminals, all types of shit, but no one's gonna get to the depth of it because we gotta save face. What will the neighbors think? This is what a good family does. Meanwhile, of thirst. Some Kendrick Lamar shit, dying of thirst. Only Tasia came to see Danielle every week. Not even her husband, not even Harpo came to see her. Harpo tried to move on with but didn't even come see his wife. The supposed woman that he built what came to be the juke joint, but originally was the home for them. But then got in his little bitch ass feelings when Danielle got quote unquote remarried to the man at the juke joint that ended up in the fist fight. She was quote unquote married because you can't get married 2 times. She didn't officially get divorced from Pablo. But that situation happened. You got in your feelings about that, then got with her just for her to go to prison and then leave her? Trash. Absolutely trash. I didn't talk about the wedding scene, but the wedding give me a little bit jigaboo, not gonna hold you. Especially the dancing. Maybe because the dance of that time was the dance of that time, so to me it looks kind of odd. But like it looks like just a tad bit jigaboo. If y'all did it way too long and you did with too much of the medicine, too much skin, too much teeth, a little wider in the eyes, looking mad, I would have been like, oh hell no. It was getting there. But it wasn't full blown there. The wedding ceremony scene, for what it's worth, for the allosexuals, BB, you know, I is married now. And I was just like, that way. We'll see. Okay. Danielle is in prison, rotting away while Harpo is mimicking his patriarchal pappy. Got the quote unquote business, check. Got the young new boo thing, check. Setting up generational wealth and legacy, check. Following into and mimicking white cishet patriarchal standards. And all the misters, the junior and the senior, are left to rot alone. White hegemony operates on fear, abuse, and secrecy. Without the women to punch down on what do the men have? They're sorry, no good, unskilled rat bastard asses only have themselves. So at this scene, Jug says, I'm feeling to go and I'm feeling to take Tasia with me. We feeling do our sapphic shit on the road. We about to be like, what was that movie that I liked? That was also sapphic as fuck. It's called Romy and Michelle. Now I'm remembering Fox Family. take me back. But yeah, Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. Yes. There was really on there, was it Thelma and Louise type shit. And we're not gonna talk about the review of Romy and Michelle high school reunion. We're not talking about that. But the point is, they were like, we finna go on the road together. Taraji's it was like me and Tasha, we finna hit the road. I'm finna go. And then Mr. was like, you not talking about to take. And Taraji's character was like, nigga, shut the fuck up. It's already gonna go. And Mr. was like, if you take her, whoopty whoopty woo, threatening empty threats. And everybody was like, bitch nigga, we'll jump you. Like, that's just what that is. And Tasha was like, I'm leaving. And Mr. was like, bitch, I'll beat your ass. And then Tasha was like, and she jumped on him with a fucking knife to the neck. This time she wasn't nervous. This time she would poke this nigga dead. And she was like, I didn't never ask you for shit. Okay, nigga? I've always been kind to you, even when you treated me like a fucking slave. Even when you beat and raped my ass, it was good for you. But when I found out you was hiding the letters from my sisters, the only person that I loved and the only person that loved me, thinking that, let me think that she abandoned me, that she was dead and she was right across town and you kept her away from me. You rat bastard, I should kill you right here and there. But I'm not even gonna do that. I just wanna go. So I'm fucking going. And everybody was shocked that Tasia found her motherfucking voice and her motherfucking cojones that bitch ass Mr. Senior and Junior and Harpo didn't have. So when they saw Tasia was with the shits, Mr. swallowed his itty bitty non-existent ball sacks and backed the fuck up. And Squeaky Mouse herself, Sophia, wife number 2, was like, actually, I'm gonna go too. And Harpo was like, girl, with your mousy ass, shut the fuck up. Because now he was turning and transitioning into his pappy. He was trying to not be like his pappy, but once he tried to emulate the white capitalist gays, the white LLC gays, he started acting like his pappy. And Squeak was like, no, bitch, my name is not Squeak. It's actually Marie. And I'm leaving with the girlies. Deuces, hoes. And they all left. They left the dinner table. And Danielle was like, actually, well, I'm not going nowhere. So I'm going to get this house in order and let you punk ass niggas know what's really tea. And I was like, I know that's right. They were trying to hold my girl down, but she right back. She bounced back. She's still that girl. She's still that it girl. She is her. Okay? And cracker bitches couldn't hold you down. You was locked up, but you did your time. You got your stripes, and now you out, and you about to lay them niggas out. I know that's right. Love on the women who love on you 1,000,000,000,000 times over. Taraji gave Tasha her flowers was so heartwarming to see. And I want to be serenaded by a woman. Like Meg Thee Stallion, you up next. Serenade me. Today, you up next. I need you to sing to me. You gave me the supply. Kiss of life. You need to sing. Don't be playing in my face. I need to be serenaded by a woman, okay? The way I need to be serenaded. Like, Usher, like, serenade me, okay? Serenade me, okay? And Anne said it can give me the kiss of life with the remix. What's my man's who passed away not too long ago? Damn. I can see the image in my head, but I don't forgot. Hold on. MF Doom, yes, because I remember it was Doom something. I'm like Doom Dungeon, Doom something. Yes, MF Doom. Okay, Sade, I know MF Doom. He's not here with us. Rest in peace. You know, woo woo woo. But Sade, don't be playing in my motherfucking thing. Sade, Janet Jackson, Meg Thee Stallion, even Mariah Carey with her whistle ass. Y'all need to serenade me, okay? Like Taraji serenaded Fantasia at the end when they were in the house, and even former mouse. My name is Marie. Okay, they are Mary. They were like celebrating the women in their lives, and they're older now. They're like middle aged women now. You can see the slight gray starting to appear in Fantasia's wig. And like what made it heartwarming for me, it was very much giving me tease of like the girly girls. Thank you for being a friend. Do do do. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're propelling a confidant. Do do do. And if you need, okay, this ain't even that. But it was giving me that because not only do I love me the motherfucking Golden Girls, rest in peace to all my girlies. Rose, it was the last one, but we rest in peace forever. Dorothy, okay, Ma, okay, Sophia, and how could we forget our Southern girl, Miss Blanche herself? R.I.P. to all my girlies. It was giving me that. It was giving me pouring into the girlies, loving into the girlies, watering the girlies, giving the girlies her flowers. Because everybody was basically like, if it wasn't for Tasia keeping us sane, who the fuck would we be? Like, Tasia deserves everything. Like, the strength that she did not have for herself, she gave it to us. She loved us. She supported us. She was thorough. Even Danielle was like, none of these rat bastards came to see me, but you came to see me every single week. And I didn't even believe in God. But I know a God exists because you exist. Do you know how much of a fucking compliment that is, bitch? That's bigger than a black ass big mama. Like, that's near godly, bitch. Like, do you know how much of a compliment a motherfucker says? They don't even believe in a higher power. But they believe in it because of your action. You are so above the rest that you're damn near superhuman, bitch. You're damn near a motherfucking superhero. They said that you non-human, you above the rest, but you are above the mortals just by your character. So I love that for Tasia because she really sacrificed a lot. She really poured into the girls. She really loved the girlies and didn't expect anything back. Didn't try to guilt trip, didn't try to gaslight, didn't try to passive aggressive anything. And when she was wrong, like how she did Danielle in the beginning, telling Harper to whoop her ass, she admitted to that and she took fault and she course corrected. But for the life that she didn't live for herself, she lived vicariously through these other women, and she actually supported them in different ways. And I loved how the girlies at the end, you take what you can get. They poured back into her as well. That shit really did it for me because oftentimes we already know these men ain't shit and they don't even care about us. Not like that. They really do hate us. Like, for real. But when the girlies play into that, when the girlies do the pick me shit, when the girlies do the exploitation thing, using girlies, being mean girls to girlies, competing with girlies, playing in girlies' faces, taking from girlies, doing the mean girl thing. That should be breaking my heart. That should really be breaking my heart because patriarchy is bad enough. Femicide is bad enough. Rape culture is bad enough. You really don't have to put cotton at night. You really don't have to be a cracker with titties. You really don't have to be an oppressor. Like, patriarchy is not taking any L's that's gonna disable. It ain't in no way, shape, or form hurting for supremacy. So please find another hobby, something more fulfilling to your gender identity. Okay. I got like 5 more comments to say, and then we can wrap this thing up. Tasia's pappy dying. They come to find out that's not even her biological pappy. Tasia's pappy dying and having to attend his funeral. I think she is that person. Again, I missed first 15 minutes, so I'm not sure who this light-skinned woman really is to the character narrative or the story narrative, but I assume the light-skinned woman who plays the daughter Coral on the show Meet the Browns, the Tyler Perry show Meet the Browns that was on TBS. Coral, the light-skinned lady who played Mr. Brown's daughter, but in real life is his wife. Gross, weird. Like, look, like, 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 no, like, oh, like, no, like, I couldn't be anything other than your daughter, and we fuck in real life. But that's just me. That's just me. So like, yeah, that light skinned woman, but in this commentary, she a light skinned bitch because she was the wife of Tasia's so-called father, and I think after the father died. No. Again, I listened to the first 15 minutes, so I'm assuming what the storyline is right here. The light-skinned woman, I think she was the wife of Tasia's pappy. And I think she was the influence behind getting Tasia kicked out of the pappy's house so she can have the home, the property, whatever the pappy has, and didn't have to compete with Tasia, his daughter, and was the one behind getting Tasia married off to Mr. Guesstimations here, because again, I missed the first 15 minutes. But I think but that happens all the time. That happens all the time when the stepmama moves in, very much of the Cinderella complex. These stepmamas move in, they hate the kids, they don't really bond with the kids, they're really after the man. Rarely is it because she truly loves him. Usually it's more so that he has some type of benefit, whether it's a home, whether it's money, whether it's a social security check, whatever the case may be. The younger woman or the new woman comes in looking for something for herself out of the expense of the children. Like, let me get into their trust fund and fuck their future, or tries to redirect the father's energy to her over the kids. Like, look, I'm asexual. I have no desire to have kids. I don't want a partner. Like, these are not my problems. But oftentimes what tends to happen is that the father becomes weak and pussy hounding for the next woman, but neglects his own children. And we saw that with, what's girl's name? What's that girl's name? That young tenderoni girl who was with Rick Ross. Let me find out. Lyra Galore. Galore? Girl, you know your name. That girl. Remember she had an episode of Ayanna Fix My Life and we found out her raggedy ass daddy left her and her mammy for a white bitch, and her raggedy ass black ass daddy left her and stopped talking to her, stopped engaging in her, stopped being in her life, literally cut this girl up, abandoned this girl for this white bitch and the kids that he had with this white bitch. And he and this white bitch lived down the fucking street from Lyra and her mammy. Imagine that. Imagine. You should have just killed them. Like, honestly, you should just fucking kill them. And then when they had this raggedy ass nigga on the show to explain himself, he was basically like, my white wife didn't want me to come on this show to explain myself. My white wife did not want me to have a relationship with Lyra. So I chose my white wife and our biracial kids over my motherfucking biological. And then after he stated that shit, the white bitch was like, we're not doing this show no more. And his punk ass didn't continue the show. That nigga needed to be whooped on sight. Where the fuck Lyra Galore daddy is, find his ass and beat his ass. And beat that bitch ass too. You know what bitch I'm talking about too. The bitch he don't marry ass. And that's the tease it's giving. That's the tease it's giving. It's giving me that type of tease when Tasha was at the funeral. And then the pastor pretending as if the pappy, Tasia's father's death clears the moral record of what he done did against Tasia and the hypocrisy that he lived as a living human. What do I mean by that? Oftentimes, the Christian bullshitters love talk about how you can't say nothing about the dead, respect the dead, you gotta honor this, kind of third. They are accomplices, they are gaslighters, they are manipulators. What they're really saying is that whatever the fuck this motherfucking done did, don't speak on it because motherfuckers who done did the crime swept the evidence underneath the rug, participated in the bullshit, they still alive. So if you out this motherfucker for being ain't shit, and you and they ass is gonna get discovered in ways of that how all these celebrities are starting to get sweaty in the ass cheeks. They start clenching their anuses. Why? Because the Epstein client list is about to drop the first week in January. So now all of a sudden, the same folks who was flexing and talking that big shit is now hyperventilating. Because what happens in the dark is coming to the motherfucking light. Just like Tasia said, until you do right by me, nothing good is going to come to you. So I found it interesting how the pastor trying to make clear of Tasia's pappy's name after the fact is also the same pastor who is Taraji's character's pastor daddy who's judging her. Meanwhile, Tasia's pappy who died, who's at the funeral scene, who come to find out ain't her biological pappy, but she didn't know that because the fake pappy became her pappy when she was a small kid, and she didn't know that. She was a baby at the time. Her real biological pappy passed, and she didn't know that at the time. But anywho, that's that hypocritical Christian shit. That's why you have pedophilia all throughout the. That's why $dollar fix his motherfucking raggedy ass pimp face talking about, oh, he need money, he need private jet money, put more money into the tie because he gotta fly out, he gotta be flew out, he need a private jet to preach the Lord, to preach the word of the Lord. And y'all hoes actually bought that shit. Y'all love motherfuckers playing in your face. You love a nigga lying in your face. You love that shit. The pastor acting holier than thou towards Suge while he runs cover for Tasia's pappy and all the men in that town who are wicked towards the women. So they can beat the women, rape the women, harass the women, steal property from the women, steal women's money. They can do all that raggedy shit. But don't say nothing. You know, they dead now. You gotta respect the dead. You gotta honor the dead. But while they were alive, mum's the word, because it's the bro code. Fuck all your sons. Fuck all your sons. Men are evil. They all cover for each other's demonic, sexist, chauvinist, misogynistic ways. Tasia gaining the property of her real pappy feels like restorative justice. A real father looks after his kids, especially in death when he's not around. So this is the part where some woman tells Tasia, by the way, you have property, you have land, the land that you got belonged to your father. Actually, that nigga not your biological. He is your stepdaddy. When your real daddy passed away, your mammy, you know, you women with property and shit to lose always link up with these raggy ass niggas who always drag you down. Whether it's Cardi and Offset, Kiki and her baby daddy, Simone Biles and her new husband, even the love to me, Megan and Cardi. Like y'all love linking up with these niggas who really love playing in your face. Like it's like you love being gaslight. It's like being humiliated. It's like but Tasia's mammy fell into it. Married the second dude. Second dude took her for everything that she had. But original biological pappy was good because he made sure that before he died, he put on his will, we put on the deed that everything he had belongs to Tasia and the sister, Netta. Everything else, is a lie. And when the fake daddy died, the will and everything got rediscovered, and they found out that fake daddy shouldn't have gotten shit. He's actually eating and living on another man's land, which also makes me think that the fake pappy was in it on selling off Tasia to Mr. so he can keep the land and the assets out of mind, out of sight, and letting Tasia go through that hell, go through that humiliation, go through that trauma and abuse just so he can live off of another man's earnings. If that's not some pimp shit, I don't know what the fuck is. If that's not on some colonizer shit, if that's not on some slave master shit, I don't know what else. All at the expense of Tasia. And we seen Tasia. Tasia probably would have let that raggedy ass nigga live. But it wasn't enough to live. He needed to own. He needed to dominate. He needed to exploit. And that's what he did. So there goes your black excellence. Paint it black and everything will be right. There you go. No different than Rick Ross not paying his Wingstop employees, frying them all them chickens under black excellence vegetable oil, and still ain't paying y'all. Just like Oprah with this movie, The Color Purple, the remake. Taraji said they ain't paying. No different than Diddy, who don't pay his for it. This black excellence looking like real cracker slave master. Did y'all tell me? If I was a property owning black woman, I would never marry a man. I would never breed. Seeing Mr. in the mud wasn't enough. That nigga need to die. He's evil. Truth be told, yeah. When that cracker mailman found him in the mud, I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead. The cracker just had to kick him to make sure that he came back to life. I was like, why didn't you just die? Why did you inhale the fucking mud and this choke and suffocate this? Like, why are you still here? Ah, like, why did the cow mouth find you and then just strike your ass and get like, why are you still here? Like, why did the coyotes find you? Like, why did the gators find you? Like, anyways. Oh, the devil is alive and the devil be working hard. Anywho. The crackers are even more evil because they about to gentrify black land to get two black American people back to America. So this is the point where I guess Mr. is trying to get a change of heart, especially since Tasia now, you know, she a big wig now. She ain't just a small timer. She's not just a humble peasant girl. Now she got property now. Now she's, you know, she on Madam CJ Walker shit, and she's designing pants for women because she's a modern woman and she's getting women into the modern aesthetic of wearing pants. And we see her organize and pay and work alongside the women that she helped and helped her in her own liberation. So we see Danielle got a job, Sophia got a job. Shug, I don't think she worked there, but she be the one. She did, you know. She got her Tony from girlfriend shit. She'll show up, you know, she'll pay her dues, you know, even buy a pants or two. But she ain't working there. You know she a free bird. She a free spirit. She ain't working there. But she'll stop by and she'll give her Tasia big ups. But you see all the girlies like doing their own thing, setting their own way, like not being oppressed by men, not serving men and trucking their own way. And I love that. Even though it's still under the gaze of capitalism and black excellence business ownership and this and the third. And we never connected back to Danielle, that white woman, restorative justice, put that bitch in jail, like nothing, because there's no real substance, there's no real black politics, there's no like tying up the stories. It's just like black trauma is just what happens. You know, you take a licking and you're still kicking, and then you do a little jig and everything's all right. And it's just like, is it though? Is it though? Is it? No, of course not. So yeah, so at that time, Suge had not Suge, but Mister had a change of heart, so to speak, and he wanted to help Tasia's sister get back into America from Liberia because where they were, their camp, it got invaded. The British basically abandoned them and wasn't trying to help them after they done fucked up because crackers are fucking up as vis-a-vis. Uh, trying to play God, but you just got a God complex. Um, didn't work. They lost their paper and their documentation. They want to come back into the States because the Liberia project failed. And then but they needed paperwork to verify their American status. So they wrote back to Tasia to ask for Tasia's help. But Tasia was already gone. She left Mrs. home with Taraji. So that's when Mr. got the letter and Mr. tried to get the embassy involved. And them cracker ass bastards could have helped, but them cracker ass bastards saw this nigga trying to help two other niggas. And them cracker bastards was like, yeah, we don't give a fuck, so we're not gonna help. And even if we wanted to help, it's gonna cost you hundreds of dollars. And we know your poor peasant black ass don't have hundreds of dollars, no reparations check, so we're not gonna help. And then Mr. had nothing to bargain, nothing to give up until he remembered I have some land. So if I sold the land, can I get your assistance? Can I get that hundreds of dollars? And the cracker bastard says yes. Because they're always in the business of stealing and exploiting and taking advantage of economic precarities. And nothing says economic precurity like literal former slaves, like literal children of former slaves. So there's always a point of exploitation because, you know, the vulnerability of slavery. So we're assuming Mr. Souls off his land, though we never see that storyline play out, clarified, or confirmed. But the last place that storyline left off was him being in the office and asking the cracker what happens if he sold the land. And the cracker says, you should. And I'll draw up the paperwork. But we never really saw that line play out. We didn't see the paperwork. We didn't see shit signed. We didn't see the cracker make phone calls. We don't know. Da 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 da. So yeah, the cracker's about to gentrify black land. He's about to steal the acres that we were never given. Can't help you unless they can take advantage of you. Sounds so on brand for crackers. You see that stupid ass ADOS cult? Your racist government will fuck you over 6 ways to Sunday before giving you your humanity. Because humanity isn't given, it's asserted and inherent. Mr. thinking he can purchase his way back into Tasia's life is so on brand for toxic patriarchy. Ain't shit, no, not worth a goddamn, but still rather be with a woman he hates than be alone. This is why all y'all, not all y'all, but many of y'all married women and partnered women be with men who hate you, men who prank you, but it's always digging at your self-esteem, men who gaslight you, men who do weaponize incompetence, men who perform and participate to your detriment a comfortable level of permanent unhappiness. That ability to pick at you, to take advantage of you, to play in your face. Is all part of toxic patriarchy. The fact that Tasha's on the come up, she's making pants, she has her own property now. Like she don't need no man, basically. That's when Mr. starts respecting her. That's when Mr. comes in talking about, can I get a new pair of pants that makes him look like an extra, but really a forward to MC Hammer's parachute pants. He's wearing that before that shit even drops. He wearing a parachute zoot pants with suspenders and shit, looking like a whole fucking clown. Thinking that he can buy his way into Tasia's life or Now that Tasia got property, he could see her as a full-fledged human. I think the fuck not. And Tasia was like, "Oh no, sweetheart, you can buy these pants and put money in my pocket, but you're not getting into this pussy. Period. 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 I'll be damned. Period. Disgusting." And that goes to show you, even when these men hate you, even when they can't stand you, even when they're your fucking ops, they rather be with you than to be with themselves. That just tells you the psyche of the average cis het man. And we see that even y'all keeping up with the Cardi and Offset situation. That nigga don't want her, stay cheating on her, stay blowing money, stay playing in her face. But he only comes back because what? Her money is bigger than his. He made 28 million in his career. She making 100 million plus. It ain't over. She's still gonna be topping. She gonna be topping, but she don't got a strap. That nigga can't top shit. He on the decline. Especially one of them niggas is 86. It's not three amigos, it's two. Oh, it's Dunzo. But now he on some baby come back, baby, I'm sorry. And Cardi's on some I don't want you back. Fuck what I said. It don't mean shit now. Kind of like Tasia and Mister. A lot of these niggas start looking you in the eye and humbling that tone when they realize that you don't need them. And that's what patriarchy fears is women who don't need them. That's why they keep telling me go back into the kitchen, be a tried wife, be parafit and pregnant, follow the cult leader Samuel Jackson, or not Samuel Jackson, the wrong Jackson, Samuel Seven, the dead nigga in the suit, the sassy sus nigga in the suit, Kevin Samuels. They tell you fuck over your life and be a slave for a pimp, for a gay pimp, a gay dead pimp. Because they can't compete, they don't want to compete, they want to dominate and subjugate, and they don't want to punch up. They feel if they can dominate women, that's it, that's all. They met the games, they succeeded. Don't matter if they poor, don't matter if this country on their ass, don't matter if they ain't got shit to their name. If they can topple a woman, mwah, the job is done. The system can whoop on their ass. That's okay. If they got a woman that they can whoop on too. Y'all sons. With the domestic violence rates and the femicide rates, y'all sons. That's why they do all that avoidance of personal development and self actualization. Oppressing women is their chosen path. Being an abuser is easy. Crackers have a monopoly on abuse and violence because it is easy. Punching down is easy, especially when you have a system of racial and class hierarchy. It's easy. It's easy to say nigger. It's easy to perform sexism and literal domestic violence against women because we have a system that will arrest women for punching back than the man who is engaging in domestic violence. And the way that cities are set up, like New York City, they're more likely to arrest both parties, regardless of who's the victim and who's the perpetrator. So it leaves victims to either experience the trauma themselves and try to navigate escapism on themselves of that type of toxic victim. Shut the fuck up, or you're going to get a arrest record too. It doesn't solve the issue. It just makes victims a lot more silenced. Taraji's pappy being mad at her for living her life is the oddest flex of patriarchy. She's literally a decent person, an earth angel, beautiful woman, successful, a gorgeous singer What more can you ask for in a daughter? Throw men away. This is the same when Taraji comes in and sings to her father and he's playing the piano and he finally accepts her. And I was just like, Taraji, fuck that nigga. Like literally. Like fuck him, fuck his whole life, fuck the church, burn that shit down. Like I really can't understand why he hates this girl. Like I love this girl. Like besides her playing in Tate's face, besides her even giving like the fact that she even had it from Mister, bitch, we need to get your brain checked. But outside of those two character flaws, she's fucking phenomenal. She even gave him drinking hard body like that. Like she gave him drinking like Meg. Like she stopped. And you still riding her back? I think nigga you jealous. I think nigga you mad. I think you wanted you a little slave girl like Tasia, and you didn't get that out of Taraji. And that's why. And that's why you mad at her. You mad because you wanted you a little housekeeper. You wanted you a little Restavec. You wanted you a miniature wife without the sex, and hopefully without the sex, because you got Mister over here doing some real strange things. So you never know. And I feel like that's more of the reason why he mad. Because it's not like she in your pocket. It's not like she's strung out doing drugs. It's not like she's being passed around and tossed around. She has her own. She makes her own. She's well assertive and well maintained. Like, what more can a father ask for? Men be jealous. Men be really, really jealous. No matter what man he is, no matter what role he plays, they be jealous when they realize that a woman cannot be tamed. A woman cannot be anchored. A woman cannot be manipulated, gaslighted. A woman cannot be menticide into obedience. They really, really hate that for us. They really do, because they really do believe freedom is for men, in particular cis het men, in particular cis het white Christian wealth owning men, property owning men, and everybody else has to perform their humanity, and it's on limited borrowing. And it has to be validated by a cis het white property owning moneyed white. And that's colonialism and the colonial project. Last comment. The country ass Weeping Willow family cookout, the very end scene, took my black ass out. Ciara playing Haley got me all in my feelings. I want black ass justice, atonement, restoration. It is needed. We need liberation. We need liberation now for all the crimes, genocide, and dehumanization these crackers put us through. Interracial, not interracial, but intraracial, so black on black, essentially. And crackers harming us, so like the KKK, and all the Rainbow Coalition. You know, the Asians who are mad at black folks, the two black folks who get admitted into Harvard and Stanford, them cracker Asians getting mad at us for actually having the ability to get 2 Ivy League enrollment slots. And they were coming at black folks trying to testify and say, oh, it's affirmative action. Come to find out, affirmative action works and in all aspects. It works better for white women than it does for any black person, including black women, statistically, because white women, although still white, are minorities because there are women, and they far exceed in using affirmative action to their advantage than any black person. But them cracker ass Asians didn't think so. So they try to get affirmative action thrown out, thinking that they would get the spots. They still ain't getting the fucking spots, because the majority of spots goes to the whites, the money whites, because most Ivy League enrollment, legacy babies. So they pappy went to Harvard. But them cracker ass Asians wasn't reading, wasn't doing the math, wasn't connecting the historical dots, thinking that they was going to one up black folks, and they still getting eliminated. Yeah, that's what I mean by Rainbow Coalition of cracker allies. So that whole scene at the end where they came together and they were celebrating, and like you could see the whole black assness. It's a cookout. The weeping willow was giving me very country restorative, like we are here, we are one. But it was cute for what it is, but it was missing. It was missing something, and that something was not just Tasia relinking with Halle Berry, Halle Bailey at the scene at the end, played by Ciara. They finally rekindle sister to sister. She finally reconnects with her kids, Tasia's kids, that were taken from her before she got sold off to Mister. She also meets her grandkids, so the children, her children's children, and they rejoice and very much a family reunion of multitudes. And I liked it, but it was just like, ugh. It was just like a cracker ass ending, a cracker ass ending painted in black. And what do I mean by a cracker ass ending painted in black? What I mean by that is that, okay, Tasia rekindles with Halle Bailey's character. And yes, she meets her grandkids. Like, yes, like the pussy is heartwarmed. The uterus and the fallopian tubes and the motherfucking eggs are all jumping for joy. But bitch, did you get your motherfucking reparations? Did that cracker bitch, the mayor's wife, is she going to jail? Like what's on the books? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's very muted. On the surface level, yeah, you know, we are the world, we are the but on a real material condition level, this shit didn't do anything. It didn't even connect the dots of like, how did Tasia and her sister get together? Did Mr. Summerland or not? Like, what happened to that? And who owns that land now? And then what did the Pappy think? Because the Pappy Sr., Mr. Burns Sr., he wasn't happy. He was all up in the business, all up in the, this is my land. My ancestors toiled on this land. And now he okay with Mr. Junior just selling off the land? Like, it was like no accountability, no political history, no framework of the time. Like, what did the greater Black society think, and how were they moving? Like, there was no substance. And it's so on brand for Oprah to be pushing off this bullshit. And I'm like, how you turn Black trauma into a musical? Like, don't get it twisted. If we're just talking about the dancing, the singing, the colors, the artistry, top notch. But we're talking about a historical time, a particular Black experience under a particular systematic social order of oppression and subjugation and exploitation and sexual violence. And all you got is niggas skinning and grinning and dancing? I'm like, in what world? In what capoeira world? And I'm just like, I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling this. This is a failure. And you're not paying Black people. Anti-racist say you're not paying Black people. But you and allegedly Tyler Perry could be diddling Black people behind the scenes. You and Diddy and TD can be having freak offs and taking Epstein flights. But y'all can't pay Black people? What in the colonialist Black cracker shit is that? What in the Black plantation owner shit is that? Because that's Black excellence. The same exploitation, just with a pound cake, a slice of pound cake. And it's not good enough. Blue vein society, it's not good enough. Paper bag society, it's not good enough. When the median wealth is $8 for Black folks, at least the Black folks in Massachusetts, and it's Massachusetts, not Alabama, and it's still $8. And when I say about it's Massachusetts, not Alabama, the high society, Yankee, New England, high status, education, and it's still $8. That's my point. We need to be talking about our material condition, our political analysis, and where are we going, bitches? Who is steering the wheel? Jesus take the wheel, or Black Pan-Africanism take the wheel? Because what are we doing here, bitch? Who's been keeping score? Are we winning? Are we losing? Are we close to the goal? What is the goal? Because we've just been floundering here and we're drowning, bitch. We ain't got no health care. We ain't got no housing. We ain't got no jobs. We really out here floundering. And you know what the response to that floundering is? Cop City. Racial and class specific regulations and laws. More cops on city streets. More asset forfeitures. That's what's increasing. So I need us to have a real life conversation, a real reflection of where the fuck we are at this current moment in time and where the fuck we're going. Because time is moving, but shit is still remaining the same. The subjugation, the exploitation, the poverty, the death of despair. That's remaining the same, but getting worse in ways of like, okay, back in Mister's time, you could be poor, but own land. It have a little rinky-dink shack on it. It ain't much, but it's yours. Today, you're poor. You're paying $3,000 in rent. You have 3 generations of folks living in the same apartment, a 2-bedroom with black mold, with no heat and hot water, with roaches, and you are more fearful about being evicted because even though your situation is literally rat ass, it beats being homeless in January during the cold northeastern winter weathers. Meaning that your situation is so trash ass, but you're going to stay with it because the alternative is homelessness. The alternative is 3 cots in a cot. If that's not violence, I don't know what is. So you're literally working just to be subjugated. And everybody's in on it, from the landlord to the city inspector to the attorney general to the mayor. Everybody is in on it. But everybody just, I'm sorry, there's nothing I could do. My hands are tied. Ay. My bad, I'm sorry. I wish there's more that we could do. I guess you're going to have to put it into policy. I guess you're going to have to vote differently. I guess we're going to have an amendment. I guess we're going to have a city councilor vote. Meanwhile, rent still $3,000. It's 3 generations living to black mold and rodents and this, that, and the third. Life is better because Obama was president. I guess life is better because we got black representation. I guess life is better because niggas got degrees. Meanwhile, your material condition is looking vis-a-vis the chattel slavery, bitch. Down to the shotgun houses. So y'all gonna have to tell me what's tea? What the fuck is tea? Because while motherfuckers are screaming and crying about Joe Biden and Trump, which is worse, I really can't remember a time when things just weren't worse. Whether in the whole grand history of black folks in the settler colony or within just my own black ass existence. When do we get to the finish line? Is there a finish line? When do we collect all the items that we need to collect to get to the next level? Like on some game theory shit, like are we, what are we doing? Existing just to exist is not working anymore. Keeping your head down, just working to pay bills isn't working anymore. So what is the ultimate goal for us? Not just us as in blacks, not just us as in black Americans, but just like within humanity itself. Because even if black folks only worried about Africa and the Caribbean and South America and North America, wherever the niggas at, if we only worried about that, that still wouldn't mean shit. Because we live on one earth. And whatever happens on one side is going to affect the other side. So this agenda itself would have to apply to humanity. But unlike a colonialist, we're not going to contort people into as an assembly line. We got to incorporate our differences, our uniqueness, our abilities, and our different abilities, and everything in between, and reconstruct a system that works for everybody in our nuances, in our differences. Because the way shit is set up right now is not set up for success. It's not set up for self sufficiency, efficiency, and sustainability. And that's just on climate change. So that is my review. You know, it was long, longer than I expected. Woo! 3 hours long. Goodness gracious. That's all I had to say on this formally Christmas. I was, the day after Christmas. Review of The Color Purple. Y'all let me know what you think. I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't regret it. I'm gonna support my girlies, my black girlies. I think everybody did a phenomenal job. I love seeing Tasia and Taraji's chemistry, not just the sapphic relationship, but just them acting, them engaging. I love seeing Danielle break out into different character. I think she represented her character well. I feel just great things for the cast itself, but what it represents and how the crack of gaze is going to digest this. It is black trauma historical porn musical version, the musical adaptation to black trauma porn, and I'm just not having it. I'm just not having it. Oprah, I'm just not having it. But that's what Hollywood will green light. That's what Hollywood will a-okay. That's what Hollywood will approve. Black trauma porn and stereotypical nigga shit. Whether it's crime, whether it's drug dealing, whether it's baby boy type shit. Like that's the only thing they gonna green light. They not gonna green light no motherfucking disbelief. They just not. They not gonna green light 1804. They had over 200 years to make a movie about that shit. They not. So like, let's not even bullshit. They not. Because you can't spin it into a white gaze. You can't spin it into indoctrination. You can't spin it into dogma. You can't spin it into what hegemon. You can't spin it into commodification. You can't spin it into propaganda, white propaganda, capitalist propaganda at that. So they not. So the question is, what are we gonna do? And that's my review for The Color Purple, Black Historical Trauma Minstrel Musical for White Box Office Gays live review. Y'all let me know what y'all think. It was great kicking with y'all this Christmas holiday day season. For the crackers who thought they was gonna get live, you got the wrong one. Okay. Like Danielle, I will bite back. I will talk shit. Stand on it, 10 toes deep. Stop. I finish. And that's on that with my black ass. And I shall see you. Who knows? But there are a couple of videos that I do have to edit. I took a couple of trips and I want to edit it and give my review and my criticism of where I went, but also like the things that I did. It's not really a travel blog thing. It's not even like a hot girl, like I'm a jet setter, I'm an influence. It's not even that. It's really not even that. But I want to share with y'all. So y'all let me know what you think about this review and content that you like to see in this channel. I'm not doing celebrity gossip. I'm not even doing dating and that type of stuff. I really want to focus on material conditions, politics, black politics in particular, socialists, specifically anarchist, with my whole ass chest, politics. and how to adapt them. Not just to talk. I'm not one of these white boy leftists who like to debate all day long while shit ain't changing. I don't have the comfortable position where I could just pontificate and circle jerk off that all day. Okay, my material conditions depend on real fucking changes. So that's what I want to talk about. How do we implement them in everyday life? How do we organize around them? How do we spread the word? And changes in our own fucking backyard. So that's where I'm going to leave it at. And I shall see you sometime soon in the future. And if I don't make a new video, especially a live video, not the videos that I want to upload about my adventures, Happy New Year's, Happy Holidays, Kwanzaa, Christmas, Hanukkah, and everything else in between. If you don't celebrate like me, happy just being the fuck alive. Happy just having your motherfucking PTO time respected, your vacation time respected, you time respected, self-care respected, rejuvenate respected, giving, pouring, loving back yourself, flowering yourself. That counts too. Okay? And with all that being said, y'all, be blessed, be enlightened, be loved. I shall see you whenever in the future, hopefully 2024. I am out. Leave your comments, questions, criticisms, likes, and all that good stuff in the comments. And that is all. Peace. And follow me, socials, all the socials, ran down the video in the description box. Black woman vibes, everything. Woman and singular, not one in multiple. And yeah, peace.